young swimmers in Owensboro and Davis County, and it's going to be a hot and humid afternoon here at this beautiful new pool.
Definitely. I'm sure they're all excited to have it here at this new pool. It's a very nice facility and everything, so I'd have to say Splash would be the favorite going into this because they qualified the most. You know, and that's what's important in this meet is the numbers. You know, it's not necessarily who wins every event, but it's, you know, who gets the depth scoring in the 4th, 5th, and 6th places that really, you know, make the difference between 1st and 2nd teams-wise.
So for the last few years, Splash has certainly had the edge with their heavy number of qualifiers. They had over 130 qualified yesterday in the qualifications. Does this heat enter into it at all, the hot, humid weather? Does that affect your swimming at all?
Well, it affects mine. I'm not sure about anybody else's. It, you know, it tends to kind of draw you down a bit and drain you, but you know, if the excitement's there, I think you can overcome it. So
we have a little bit different format for this year's city swim meet. We noticed on the heat sheets we'll be starting out this afternoon with some of the relay races. This is a little change in format.
Yeah, they redid the format since I've been swimming it, so I'm not really sure. I think they put a medley relay before the long freestyle, so it'll be interesting to see how the kids adjust to that new format. So.
A big crowd's on hand on this hot and humid afternoon at the beautiful Owensboro Country Club pool, and we'll be back with the start of the action after this.
In any arena, basketball or business, you've got to know what your players can do. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. Talk to your authorized Sharp dealer who'll show you a game plan booklet that can help you find the right copier that's going to reduce your operating expenses and increase productivity big time. Whether it's a more efficient Sharp high-volume duplicating system or a compact upgradable copier, call Office World and get Sharp's winning game plan.
First stop for vacation driving peace of mind? The Tire Mart. Over 40 years of quality automotive service assures you the kind of car care you can depend on. Need new tires before you go? Ask about a set of Michelins. You've got a lot riding on those tires. Don't settle for anything less. And the Tire Mart guarantees the lowest Michelin tire prices around. Michelin and Tire Mart. Two names to depend on for driving peace of mind.
Dairy Queen does it again. Another Dairy Queen Brazier comes to Owensboro. Open now at the entrance to Town Square Mall. Get set to celebrate all weekend long, July 23rd through 25th. A prize-packed food and fun-filled extravaganza for the whole family. Clowns and contests for the kids. Plenty of hot eats and cool treats. Grand opening giveaways and more. July 23rd through 25th at the brand new Dairy Queen, South Frederica at the entrance to Town Square Mall. They treat you right at Dairy Queen.
Back at the Owensboro Country Club swimming pool, we're ready with the first event of the day, the girls' 100-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle relay. Jamie, these are really the youngsters, and they're going to get the action started. It's 25 yards each in the relay, correct?
Yes.
And the lineup in lane 1 will be Atlantis, and lane 2, Darnick. Lane 3, Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4 is Splash. Lane 5 is Paddock, and in lane 6 will be the YMCA Town and Country. So we're ready to go with the first race of the day, the girls' 100-yard relay, 7- and 8-year-olds on a very hot and humid afternoon. We see the judges going out, and Jamie, you might fill us in on the positioning of the judges. We see 2 judges right at the middle of the pool and some at each end, and what are they looking for?
They're looking for illegal strokes, as like in butterfly, a flutter kick, or in breaststroke, a scissor kick, or that's what the 2 in the middle watch for, and they walk up and down the side of the pool and watch for the strokes, and then the turn judges check to make sure that they get a good legal turn and touch the wall. So
there would be probably more of an infraction possibility in the turns rather than in the illegal strokes.
Exactly.
So I guess I haven't seen many disqualifications for an illegal stroke. You don't ever try any illegal strokes when you're in there, do you?
It's more with the younger swimmers when they're first learning to do the strokes.
They're in the water, and we're ready to go. They're underway. The girls' 100-yard, 7- and 8 freestyle relay. The city record in this meet, in this event, is 112.36, set by Splash last year in 1992. And here they go with the first exchange. That's in lane 3. That's Owensboro Country Club out in front. Where do you put your fastest swimmer in the relay? At the anchor in the final?
Yes, since these are the freestyle relays and everyone's in freestyle, normally your fastest swimmer goes last, but on the medley relays, it's pretty much your best stroke. You know, you swim your specialty on the relay.
Okay, so in the freestyle, this is the freestyle relay. Owensboro Country Club in lane 3 with a big lead. On the far side, Paddock, that's in lane 7, YMCA Town and Country. Coming up in lane 4 is the Splash team, and already in the water on the final turn is the Owensboro Country Club. 1:16.25 was their quick time coming into the meet, and here they go. Is there qualifying for the relays, or they just base it on their best times?
Yeah, it's just whatever time they enter into the meet. So.
Okay, so Owensboro Country Club had the best time entered with 1:16.25, and it appears that Owensboro Country Club is romped home winner in the first event of the day, the girls 100 yards, 7- and 8-year-old freestyle relay. And the way we'll be doing it throughout our telecast today, we will have the official results. Usually it's about 3, 4, 5 races down the road as the computers print out the official results, and we'll pass those on to you as they're made available to us. So unofficially, Owensboro Country Club, the winner of the first event of the day, the girls 100-yard freestyle relay for 7- and 8-year-olds. And we'll move ahead to the second event of the day, the boys 100-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle relay. City record in this event is 1:10.77, set by Town and Country way back in 1978. That's before you even started competing almost, didn't it? And the 1992 winner was Atlantis with a 1:16.35, the best reported time. Splash with a 1:21.02. 1:21.02, the time to beat. Owensboro Country Club about 4 seconds behind that in their reported time. So we could have a little tight battle here. In lane 3 will be Splash, and in lane 4, Owensboro Country Club. Lane 1 is Atlantis, lane 2, Paddock, lane 3 is Splash, lane 4, Owensboro Country Club, and lane 5, Darnick. And you'll hear us talk about YMCA T&C, or YMCA Town and Country today, and understand this year the Town and Country facility is being leased by the YMCA, so that's why we're referring to it as that.
Yes, exactly.
So it is the Town and Country swimmers swimming. Actually, the YMCA is operating the Town and Country Swim Club. We're ready to go with the boys 100-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle, and now they were ready to go, and they called them off. The starter did. What's the ruling on false starts?
I'm not sure in Summer Club. I think it's 1 false start.
You are allowed 1.
I'm not sure.
Then as you get a little bit older in the stuff you're in, you can't have any,
no,
can you?
1 false start and you're out of there.
You're out of it. So that discourages anybody to try to get the extra jump from the starters. And, of course, the timing and everything is done electronically here.
Yes.
You hear the buzz. They're in the water. This is the boys 100 yards, 7- and 8-year-old freestyle relay. The team to beat, Splash, right in the middle. Lane 3, Splash with a little bit of a lead over Paddock, doing pretty well there in lane 4. No, that's Owensboro Country Club in lane 4. And into the water quickly for Atlantis. Atlantis just right up in the front with Splash.
Yeah, lane 4 had a very good relay exchange. You can tell he caught up a lot.
And Splash is struggling a little bit there, I think, in 3.
Yeah, relay exchanges are very important because they can make a difference a lot. You know, it's how fast you get into the wall. It's all pretty much in, your timing and things like that.
And we have our eyes out on lane 4 and lane 1. And lane 1 is Atlantis, Owensboro Country Club in lane 4. And lane 1, it looks like Atlantis is going to come up with the win. Atlantis had no time reported, and they come in. Here's the exchange in the final 25 yards. But boy, out there in lane 4, Owensboro Country Club making a battle, and this one's going to go right down to the wire between Owensboro Country Club and Atlantis. And up quickly is Splash in the middle lane, but there's not enough time, not enough space for him. And it looks like in lane 1, whoa! I'm not going to call that one. Do you want to call it?
I'd say lane 4 with Country Club, but I'm not quite sure.
Okay, it looked real close between Atlantis and Owensboro Country Club, and we're going to have to hold on. As you'll see very quickly here, the meet moves on so fast that we don't have time to come back and analyze each and individual race. But in that second race, the boys 100-yard freestyle relay for 7- and 8-year-olds, it looked like almost a dead heat between Atlantis and Darnick. And it'll be a little while before we do get the official results. And, of course, we'll have the official results for you on all of the events. And how many events we have here today, Jamie? Add them up quickly. 86. 86.
Yep.
So, fellas, we've got 2 down and 84 to go. 84 to go. This is event number 3, the girls 100-yard, 9 and 10-year-old freestyle relay. These are the girls, 9 and 10-year-olds, 100-yard freestyle. Atlantis in lane 1, Paddock in lane 2, Splash in lane 3, Owensboro Country Club in lane 4, Darnick in lane 5, and YMCA Town and Country in lane 6. The best reported time, 105.37. That's Splash, the team to beat here in the 3rd event of the day, the girls 100-yard freestyle relay. Closest reported time to that, 107.19, Owensboro Country Club. This is a beautiful facility here. I understand in the past they couldn't hold the meets here because it wasn't a regulation length pool. Is that correct?
I think it was 33 yards or something strange like that. So, yeah, now they have a nice facility. It's good to move the meet around because if you keep it at the same pool, it tends to get, monotonous and stuff.
And you could have the home pool advantage, I guess.
Exactly.
And let's see if this can help the Owensboro Country Club. And boy, they are dead even as they get into the water here for event number 3, the girls 100. And it looks like in lanes 2 and 3, battling it out in the first 25 yards of Paddock and Splash. The all-important exchange, still it's 2 and 3. Paddock and Splash up front. Possibly Splash moving out to a little bit of a lead, and I'm sorry to say we don't have the individual names and the order of the competition for the individuals in the relay. We'll just have to go by the team name. Now going with the 3rd exchange and opening up a lead is the Splash swim team in lane 3. In lane 4, running 2nd right now, is Paddock. And here's the final. That was a nice exchange into the water. They're not going to be able to catch her there.
Definitely not.
So coming down with the win will be Splash. Splash in the girls 100-yard, 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. The city record is 59.77, set by Darnack in 1986. Last year's winner was Splash in 105.63. And the Splash team, the apparent winner, the unofficial winner of event number 3, the girls 100-yard, 9 and 10-year-old freestyle relay. And very quickly we'll move ahead to event number 4, the boys 100 yards, 9 and 10-year-old freestyle relay. The city meet record set by Darnack in 1983, 102.13. Last year's winner was Splash at 109.20. 5 competitors in the boys 100-yard freestyle relay. In lane 1 will be Atlantis, lane 2 Paddock, lane 3 Splash, lane 4 Darnack, and lane 5 Owensboro Country Club. The best reported time, and boy, these are close.
Yeah, this should be a good race.
Splash 107.43 and Darnack at 107.99 and Atlantis 109.37. When you talk about a couple of seconds, that could be made up in just one exchange very quickly. So we'll watch in the middle lane again with Splash. Splash by far the leading qualifier for the meet again this year. They are the defending champion, and they again will be the team to beat. Fortunately for the big crowd that's on hand here, they have set up some bleachers at poolside, and they've given us a nice tent here to cut down on the sun. But fortunately for the people, the humidity, as we know today, has been is a lot lower than it's been for the last few days. And the temperature up in the 90s, the sun is out, and it kind of hides behind a cloud once in a while. We have a little bit of a breeze, and as you can see on the flags, are moving a little bit. And so far, a very pleasant afternoon at the Owensboro Country Club. Ready for event number 4, boys 100-yard, 9 and 10-year-old freestyle relay. 107.43, the best time in lane 3 by Splash. And now they're lining things up. Any difference in the point scoring with relays and individual events?
Yeah, I think it's doubled.
Doubled for the event, for the
relays.
relays
are crucial in meets.
So this gets them out to an early lead or whatever. And, you know, this is a
really sets the tempo for the meet. You know, you get the relays winning. You know, you get the team momentum going. And
well, we've got one going here in lane 1. We got Atlantis with the early lead. Atlantis with the early lead, and on the exchange they open that lead up a little bit. And in lanes 2 and 3, we have Paddock and Splash battling to catch up with the leader, Atlantis, as we near the halfway mark of event 4, the boys 100-yard freestyle relay. Ready to make the exchange, and we'll see who goes into the water first. From our vantage point, kind of difficult to see, and it looks like it's right between 1 and 3, Atlantis and Splash, as they head down for the final exchange. And in lane 2, that's Paddock. Paddock really jumped up. Paddock is out in front as they make the final exchange. Can Paddock hold on? We'll see. They're in the water quickly. Good exchange. And in lane 3, this is going to be the battle in lane 2, Paddock. Lane 3, Splash. And this one's going to go down the wire. A strong effort there in lane 3 by Splash, and he's going to pull it out for Splash. A come-from-behind victory, an apparent victory for Splash in event number 4, the boys 100-yard 9- and 10-year-old freestyle relay. And, boy, if you do have a strong anchor, I said you can make up a lot of yards there at the very end, can't you, Jamie?
Yeah, it's surprising how much space they can make up in a 25, you know, but good relay exchange and a good streamline off the start, and there's half a body length.
If I remember correctly, you always swam anchor in your relay team, didn't you?
Usually,
Certainly
yeah.
did. And that speaks for itself. Moving on to event number 5. These are all 100-yard relays for events through 10. The first 10 events are the 100-yard freestyle relay competition going up to the high school competition. Right now we're at the event number 5, the girls 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle relays. The city record in this event is 53.72, set by Town and Country in 1984. The winning time last year by Splash was 57.39. The best reported time this year, 56.01 by Darnick and 56.03 by Splash. The field consists of, in lane 1, Atlantis, lane 2, Owensboro Country Club, lane 3, Darnick, lane 4, Splash, and lane 5, Paddock. 56.01, 56.03, 59.03. We could have another tight one here.
Yeah, doesn't really get much closer than that.
They're into the water. This is a girls 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle relay. And, boy, they are side by side. Maybe a slight lead here in lane 1 for Atlantis. And on the exchange in lanes 1, 2, and 3, right together, and 4 just right behind. That's Atlantis, Owensboro Country Club, and Darnick, with Splash just a blink behind in the 4th lane. And as they go into the water, again, it's real tight. It looked like possibly in 1, Atlantis may be out in front. As they come to our vantage point directly in front of us, Atlantis does have the lead, and in lane 4 is Splash making a challenge, and in lane 2, right there with him, is Owensboro Country Club, and this is it. We're down to the wire, and can Atlantis hold on? Atlantis is in 1, and way out there in 4 is Splash. It looks like Splash is finishing strong. And it is indeed going to be Splash. I think they're setting the tone early as to what they're going to be doing here. Splash, the favorite. They came in and finished first in the girls 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle relay. As we've mentioned before, when we call a finish and we say this is the winner, it is indeed unofficial, because we cannot, where we're located, we're way down away from the finish line. And we have some officials sitting in between, and a tent and a few other things. We're not complaining. We wanted to sit here because we do have a tent to block the sun from us. But we are watching a lot of the action on our TV monitors. So all the results are unofficial. And, of course, the winning times and the official finish will be given to us as soon as they are printed out by the scores and the timekeepers here at the Owensboro Country Club. Moving quickly, as you see, we just moved from race to race. We moved to event number 6. The boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle relay. City record for this event, 54.35, set by Darnick in 1982. Last year's winner was Splash with a time just under a minute at 59.25. 5 entries in the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle relay in lane 1. Or actually, it'll be in lane 2 is Owensboro Country Club, 3 is Splash, 4 is Paddock, and 5 is Atlantis. The best reported time by Splash in lane 3 at 1:03 flat. So we'll keep our eye on Splash. And in the early going, let's see, we've had Splash has won 3 in a row now. They did not win the first 2. It's lanes 2 and 4 battling it out here as Splash, or Owensboro Country Club, and Paddock. Splash is in 3, but you can't count them out. They're running last right now. But the way they finished the last 2 events, yeah, their anchors have certainly been pulling it out. This is the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle relay. On the exchange, who comes in first on the far side? Looks like it was Paddock and Atlantis. And in lane 5 with the lead, it looks like Atlantis followed by Paddock. And here they're close enough together. This is going to be a sprint to the finish, as it usually is in these relay races. And as they head down the lane, in lane 3 is Splash. And Splash may make it 3 in a row here. And from our vantage point, it looks like Splash came in the winner again. In the boys 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old freestyle relay, Splash, the winner.
100-yard free relay.
Next event is event number 7. This is the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle relay. How old were you when you started competing in the city swim meet?
6.
6 years old. 6 years old. Can you remember that far back? Because I know you're getting to be an old lady now. You're going to be a senior in high school, right?
Yeah, I remember they used to all, that's before I could swim very well, and they used to all pull my hair and laugh at me, and so then I vowed next summer I'd come back and beat them all.
How nervous. They get pretty nervous, these youngsters out here. Of course, these are some veterans here. Girls, 13 and 14-year-olds, lane 1, Atlantis. Lane 2, Owensboro Country Club, followed by Darneck, Splash, and Paddock, and they're all right together on the first turn. Into the water first is 4. That's Splash out in front. Darneck had the best reported time, 50.21. Splash was at 55.84. And very quickly in lane 4, it is Splash with the lead at the halfway point, and Splash has a big lead. Evidently, with that time of 50.21, Darneck in lane 3 must have a strong anchor because they are way behind. Running second right now is Atlantis. So Splash is in the water, Atlantis is in the water, and here comes in lane 3 Darneck. But that's just going to be too big a distance to overcome, and it looks like in
Atlantis.
In lane 4 is Splash. It looks like Splash came through again. Again, that is unofficial, and we apologize if you see somebody pop out with the, you know, the hats and or the helmets here, or the helmets, the swim caps. And a lot of them do have the identification of the clubs on there. So if we're calling the wrong shot there, Jamie, you holler and correct us if you recognize some of the swimmers. So it looks like Splash there. Now we're ready for the boys. 100-yard 13, 14-year-old freestyle relay. It's event number 8. The city record in this event is 47.45 by Darneck in 1985. Last year's winner Splash with a time of 54.27. And a good time, the best reported time in lane 3 is Darneck at 58.91. So it's
close to the record.
That's real close to the record. They could challenge 48.91, and the record is 47.45. In lane 1 is Atlantis, lane 2 Splash, lane 3 Darneck, lane 4 Paddock, lane 5 Owensboro Country Club. They're in the water. This is the boys, 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle relay. And boy, they are close together in lane 2. That's Splash with the early lead. Let's see after the exchange. Splash holds on, being challenged in lane 1 by Atlantis. That good time is in lane 3 with Darneck, but Darneck is way behind.
Atlantis. Third, Owensboro Country Club. Second, Paddock.
The second last exchange, and into the water first again is Splash in lane 2. And Splash, although moving up quickly in lane 4 is Paddock. And Paddock and Splash will be neck and neck at the final exchange, and it doesn't look like Darneck will have enough time to come back. In lane 2, Splash has taken the lead, and a good strong kick there at the finish.
Third, Atlantis.
And it appears Splash is home winner. The boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle relay.
Kendra Patterson and Tammy Price with a time of 56.68.
Event number 9 will be the girls 100-yard high school freestyle relay. The city record in this event, 50.06. Set by Town & Country in 1984, and the best reported time is by Darneck at 47.91. So they've had a time better than the city record this year, Jamie. And they could challenge the city record. We haven't, of course, we don't have the times, and we won't be getting the times until we get the official results. In lane 1 is Atlantis, Splash in lane 2, Darneck in lane 3, Owensboro Country Club in 4, Paddock in 5, and YMCA TNC in 6. And Darneck is the defending champion with a time of 51.97. And boy, they are blanketed together. We're not even going to attempt to call it on the first turn. And into the water in lanes 3 and 4 are Darneck and Owensboro Country Club, but the others are right there on their heels. And you can't hardly see the swimmers. You can see the water splashing behind them, and they are all bunched together. Here we go. This is going to be a quick one. This is a girls 100-yard high school freestyle relay. And in lane 4 out in front is Owensboro Country Club. Darneck had that 47.91 there in lane 3. So we watch them in lane 3, and they're going to try to move up. And it looks like it's going to be a battle down to the wire between Darneck and Splash. And maybe Splash. What do you think?
25-yard freestyle.
I don't
Was
know.
that? No, that
I
wasn't
thought
lane 2.
Country Club.
That was Owensboro Country Club. We believe that's unofficial. That's unofficial, and we'll have to wait and see until we get the official results. The boys 100-yard high school freestyle relay is next. That's event number 10 as we move right along with the Owensboro City Swim Meet. The city record for this event is 44.26, set by Town and Country in 1984. Last year's winner was Atlantis with a 46.33. And again, we have a time reported under the city record. It's 42.94 by Darnack. They'll be in lane 3. And Atlantis in lane 1, Paddock in lane 2, Darnack in lane 3, Splash in lane 4, and Owensboro Country Club in lane 5.
And again, Darnack's entered at a time faster than the city record, so
42.94.
you could see another record fall here.
The record is 44.26, and of course we'll catch up with those record-breaking performances when we do get our official printout. And we should be getting our first ones very shortly.
Results from event 6, 11 and 12-year-old.
Okay, now they are announcing the events over the PA, but they haven't been getting us the results. So
I'm not sure.
we
what
need
the hell
to,
that is.
we should be having some by now. So we need to check with someone, and we hope to get the results over here. But we're ready to go with the boys 100-yard high school freestyle relay. Atlantis in lane 1, Paddock in 2, Darnack in 3, Splash in 4, Owensboro Country Club in 5. And the record that'll be challenged here in this event, the city record of 44.26. Darnack in lane 3, the team to watch. They reported a time of 42.94. This is the last of the 100-yard freestyle relays. We'll be going into the individual competition in a moment. But right now, we'll watch the wrap-up of the 100 freestyle relays. And boy, you can tell the difference when these older guys get in the water. Here they go.
Yeah, especially on these 25s, it's such a short distance. It's just everything you got. Yeah.
You get a good exchange off the block. I said you're halfway down the lane before you have to start going. Here
Exactly.
they go. And it looks like in lanes 1 and 4, we've got Atlantis and Splash battling it out as we approach the halfway point. At the halfway point, Splash and Atlantis. Who's going to be in the water first? Is it Splash? In lane 4. Evidently with the lead in lane 4, right behind in lane 3 is Darnack. Darnack had that good time, and boy, they're close together on this all-important exchange at the final. And they're head and head right now. Darnack and Splash going at it in 3 and 4, and it may be Darnack. Darnack. Splash is in there, just past Splash, and we're not going to call it official. Unofficially, Darnack the winner with Splash finishing a very close second in the boys' 100-yard high school freestyle relay. You're watching the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet on Century TV 2, and we'll be back with more action after this timeout.
You've always counted on Sugar Babies to bring you the most adorable and exquisite children's clothing. Now, Sugar Babies introduces a brand new fashion statement, Jats, a special collection for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Boys polos in sizes 4 through 20, guests for girls in sizes 4 through preteen, and more. The Jats collection, now at Sugar Babies, specializing in preteen sizes and now presenting Jats for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Your choice for style with a difference is Sugar Babies in the Old Town Square Shopping Center.
Dining out? Holiday Inn of Owensboro says, put yourself in our place. Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome. The friendly staff will make you feel at home, and quiet, elegant surroundings add to your dining pleasure. Lunchtime, dinner time, any time is a great time to relax and enjoy some of the best food served in the tri-state. The Holiday Inn of Owensboro says, put yourself in our place. The Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome.
In any arena, basketball or business, you've got to know what your players can do. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. Talk to your authorized Sharp dealer who'll show you a game plan booklet that can help you find the right copier that's going to reduce your operating expenses and increase productivity big time. Whether it's a more efficient Sharp high-volume duplicating system or a compact upgradable copier, call Office World and get Sharp's winning game plan.
We're ready to go with our first individual competition. Event number 11 is the girls' 25-yard 6 and under freestyle. In lane 1, Rebecca Griffin of YMCA Town and Country. Lane 2, Ashley Moore, Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Jessica Berry of Splash. Lane 4, Catherine Howard a splash. Lane 5, Jessica Smith, Owensboro Country Club. And in Lane 6, Megan Bowles a splash. The best time in the trials in Lane 3, Jessica Berry a splash with a 21.60. The city meet record is 18.81, set in 1977 by Jay Biggs of Town and Country. The 1992 champion was Terry Fentress of Town and Country, 20.86. This is the 25-yard freestyle for girls 6 and under, the first of the individual events after we've had all the relays, and we are getting some results here, but we're going to wait when we have a breather, we get a little longer races. These 25s really fly by in a hurry here, don't they, Jamie?
Definitely. These are just all out, definite emotional races, you know. It's nothing.
This is it. The girls, these are 6 and under freestyle, and you'll see some of these little gals ready to go as we have the 25-yard freestyle. Boy, there's some nervous youngsters out here right now, and they're in the water, and here they go. It's only 25 yards, but when you're 6 and under, that's a long way to go. That can wear you out, can't it?
Definitely. They're tough, though.
It looks like 3 and 4. In lane 3 is Jessica Berry. In lane 4, Catherine Howard. And unofficially, it looks like Jessica Berry of Splash coming home the winner. Did you have a clock on that one? I'm not sure. Okay, we have Jessica Berry of Splash, the unofficial winner in the girls' 25-yard 6 and under freestyle. And Jamie, I noticed you got a stopwatch. Any times that you are able to pick up will be unofficial, of course.
Yeah.
And we'll just see how close we are.
Give us an idea.
Okay, we'll get an idea. I'm going to have you get the clock on the second event. It's a boys' 25-yard 6 and under freestyle. In lane 1 is Barrett Smith of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 2, Matthew Kecke of Darneck. Lane 3, Talmadge Hawker of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Hunter Thompson of Paddock. Lane 4, Daniel Geniak of Splash. And in lane 5, Nathan Cecil of Paddock. The best time in the qualifying yesterday by Talmadge Hawker, 20.31. The city meet record is 18.30 by Kay Anderson, Owensboro Country Club. The champion last year was Jordan Doggett of Darneck. And out quickly in lane 2 is Matthew Kecke of Darneck. And coming up quickly in lane 3 is Talmadge Hawker. And it appears Hawker is in the winner unofficially. What kind of time you had?
21.
21, and he had a time yesterday in the trials of 20.31. And the city record, I think, will be safe at 18.3. So that takes care of event number 12, and we very quickly move on to event number 13. This is the girls' 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. And the qualifiers from yesterday in lane 1, Jamie Oliver of Owensboro Country Club, Audrey Cotton of Owensboro Country Club, Brittany Hawker in lane 3, Owensboro Country Club, Savannah Perry of Darneck in lane 4. In lane 5, Caroline Kirk of Owensboro Country Club, and Rachel Howard in lane 6. She's from Splash. The best time in the trials yesterday, 16.83. That was by Brittany Hawker in lane 3. The meet record is 15.52. Tammy Price of Splash back in 1989. I'll say this for everyone associated working with the city swim meet, and this is about the 5th one I think I've had the pleasure of doing. It always never ceases to amaze me how efficiently these meets are run. They have to be.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, with 88 events, you really can't afford to take too much time in between events.
The competitors have to be ready. They have to answer that first call. They get their instructions. And what is the process? You're sitting out in the field, and all of a sudden they make the call. Where do you go?
You go to the clerk of course, and then you go pick up a card that has your name and the event number and the name of the event and your time on it and what lane.
What does the clerk of the course do?
And they just hand out the cards, and then it tells you where to go, and then you take that card to your timer and give it to them. And then I think they're doing backup times here too. So they,
in case the automatic equipment doesn't
exactly.
work.
So there's 2 handheld watches, and those times are written down onto the card, and then they're picked up by a runner.
And they're all ready to go. They all meet the call. This is the girls' 25-yard freestyle, 7 and 8-year-old girls. They're in the water, they're off and going. And way over in lane 1, or lane 6, Rachel Howard got an early lead for Splash. But now in lane 3, it looks like lane 3, that would be Brittany Hawker from Owensboro Country Club, coming in the unofficial winner. And boy,
thanks.
you can't even blink. And these events are over. Did you get your watch on that one?
Yeah, I got 16.3.
So that could challenge the record. No, not the record. The record is 15.52. Her time yesterday in the trials was 16.83. We're ready to go now with the event. When these come in, Jamie, I'm going to have you keep them in order, and we'll get to them. Let's see, we have 5 official results, and we'll get those official results to you as soon as we can. Event number 14 is the boys 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Mark Johnson of Atlantis. Lane 2, Brett Russell of Splash. Lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash. Lane 4, John Janiak of Splash. Lane 5, Daniel Eggers of Owensboro Country Club. And lane 6, John Miles of Atlantis. The best time in the trials yesterday, 16.43, and he is the defending champion. That's Zach Sparks. So we'll keep our eyes on lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash, the defending champion. He won last year with a time of 17.23. The meet record is 15.38, set by Kyle Roby of Splash in 1991. This is event 14, the boys 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle.
Final call for events 15 and
now they're
16.
relaxing a little bit as they get ready for this.
9 and 10-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Final call.
While they're waiting to start here, if they fall in the water, is that okay? Or
If they fall in the water now?
If they trip right now and fall in before the start, can they get out? They can get out.
Imagine.
They're in the water, and we're ready to go with event number 14. And from our vantage point, it looks like in lane 3, Zach Sparks, the defending champion, has the lead, but I'll tell you, he doesn't have that big a lead. In lane 2, giving him a real battle is Brett Russell, and I'd say unofficially, indeed, it is Zach Sparks of Splash coming in the winner of the boys 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. So Zach may be back. Zach is back to defend his title that he won last year, and it appears that he has done just that. This is event number 15 coming up. This will be the girls. We're going to go to the other end of the pool now to start this event as we go 50 yards. This will be 2 trips, 2 lengths of the pool.
Up and back.
Up and back, and it'll be Kate Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club in lane 1, Jacqueline Berry of Splash in lane 2, Christine Coy of Paddock in lane 3, Amber Smith of Splash in lane 4, Tracy Keller of Splash in lane 5, and Jenny Myers of Splash in lane 6. And we see that Christine Coy of Paddock has a time of 33.11, a USS National B time. Explain that to me.
In U.S. swimming, there are different cutoff times for certain levels, and it goes through B, A, double A, triple A, and quad A. And that's how in the age group level, which is like 11, 12 and younger, they distinguish which meets they can attend and stuff. So you might have a B meet, which means people with faster than B times can't go to that meet.
So Christine Coy has qualified with that time of 33.11.
Exactly.
Okay, the city record held by Jamie Mueller of Darnick way back in 1987. In 1987, Jamie set the record with a 29.05, and your record may be safe here. The best time reported thus far, 33.11. On the exchange, it's in lanes 3 and 5. That's Christine Coy and Tracy Keller going down to the wire. And boy, oh boy, I think it's lane 5. It may have been Tracy Keller of Splash. Again, that's unofficial, completely unofficial. We do not have a good vantage point of the finish, and we'll have to wait for the official sheets, and we'll have all the official results. We're going to be here for a long, long time this afternoon, and we'll catch up with all the official results as time permits. Moving on quickly to event number 16, the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Tim Brandon of Paddock. Lane 2 is Tim Lamont of Darnack. In lane 3, Kyle Roby of Splash. Lane 4, Joe Miles of Atlantis. Lane 5 is Jake Sparks of Splash. And in lane 6, Brandon Black of Paddock. The best time in the trials, 30.10. That also a USS National B time, and he's also the USS National A 1992 champion. Is that correct? No, he is the 1992 champion. Okay, he's both.
Yeah, he won last year.
He won last year. Kyle Roby, he won last year for Splash with a time of 21.87. The meet record, Ryan Masenik of Darnack back in 1989, and we were here for that one. We remember when he set the record with a time of 28.86. This is the boys' 50-yard freestyle, 9 and 10-year-old. They're at the mark, and they're off in the water, and we'll keep our eye in lane 3 on Kyle Roby of Splash. And it is indeed Kyle's out in front, about a 1-length lead. A little more than that now if you do it in the thoroughbred jargon. And he makes a good turn, a steady turn, and he's just not going to be, nobody's going to catch him. Joe Miles of Atlantis is swimming second, and it's going to be a very impressive win here for Kyle Roby. Kyle Roby of Splash, and he comes home the winner in the boys' 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. What kind of time do you have? Oop, you cleared it off already. Okay.
High school girls.
We have, let's see, we have the 11 and 12-year-old freestyles coming up yet, 50-yard freestyle, 13 and 14-year-old, and then the high school freestyles, and then after that we'll move into the 25-yard backstroke and get into all the other competitions. So let's get through with the freestyles right now. And, of course, these move a little bit quicker, move a lot quicker. And we do have the official results coming in, and we'll get to those as time permits. When we have these 50-yard and 25-yard races, we just don't have time to catch up with much. But when we get into those longer races, we certainly have a lot of fill time to do it, and that's when we'll get all the official results. This is a 17-year-old, or this is event 17, girls 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Candace Turner of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 2, Jessica Poole of Paddock. Lane 3 is Tammy Price of Splash. Lane 4, Kelly Kern of Darnick. Lane 5, Amanda Lee of Splash. And lane 6, Kelly Shamil of Atlantis. The best time in the trials was Tammy Price of Splash with a time of 27.29. And the city record is 26.14. Tanya Ladine of Town and Country in 1984. Tammy Price is the defending champion in lane 3, trying to with back-to-back victories here. And in the early going, boy, it is awful close, but it is Tammy out in front just by a bit as she makes the turn, kicks off, and she really used the turn to her advantage. She didn't have that much of a lead going into the turn, but after the turn, she's going to be out in front and come home the winner. So it will be Tammy Price in lane 3, the winner from Splash. And
27.8.
27.8, so it's very close to what she did yesterday in the qualifications. The meet record of Tanya's of 26.14 appears to be safe. Moving on, we'll have event number 18, the boys 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 2, Jeremiah Johnson of Darnick. And lane 3, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. And lane 4, Nick Roby of Splash. Lane 5, Joe Younger of Atlantis. And lane 6, Josh Murphy of Splash. Best time by Nathan Waniger of Paddock yesterday in the trials, 30.23. And that is a USS National B time. City record is 26.24. Brian Keller of Darnick, and he certainly has his name in the record book quite a bit. We remember Brian's competition here, and he set that record back in 1985. The 1992 champion was Joseph Boswell of Splash. And now we're ready to go with the boys 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old freestyle, and the one to watch in lane 3 is Nathan Waniger of Paddock. And boy, they are close together coming at the turn, and again, that all-important turn will be critical. It's Jeremiah Johnson of Darnick challenging Paddock's Nathan Waniger, but again, the turn really benefits the leader as Nathan Waniger opens up the lead on the turn, and he's going to romp home the winner, Nathan Waniger, the unofficial winner of the boys 11 and 12-year-old freestyle, 50-yard freestyle competition in the Owensboro City Swim Meet. And he comes out of the water, a happy young man. And very quickly, getting ready for the next event, event number 19, the girls 50-yard, 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. In lane 2, Lindsay Abel of Darnick. Lane 3, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 4, Katie Malone of Splash. Lane 5, Lindsay Green of Paddock. And in lane 6, Stacy Sorensen of Atlantis. The best time, and boy, they're close.
This should be a good race.
They are close, you're right. 28.28, the best time by Rocky Hatton.
Rocky and Katie both swim on the racers with me, and they're always right together in practice and stuff on 50 free, so this should be a good race.
We have Rocky with a time of 28.2 yesterday, Katie Malone of 28.39, and then look around, they're flanked by Lindsay Abel in lane 2 from Darnick with a 28.71, and Lindsay Green of Paddock 28.79. So it'll go down to the fractions of a second, and indeed they are just side by side. We can't even begin to call it. And we'll see who comes up with a good turn. This is a 50-yarder. This is a stretch drive, and it's in lane 4 with a good
Katie
turn.
had a good turn.
Is Katie Malone. And coming up strongly in lane 3 is Rocky Hatton. And boy, oh boy, what do you think?
I think Katie got it.
Katie Malone of Splash, the unofficial winner of the girls' 50-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. If we were over at Ellis Park, we'd say it's a photo finish. Hold all mutual tickets, and we'll look for the photo to see who won it. But that's what the judges are doing down there at the finish. And when we do get the official results, we'll have them for you. Moving very quickly on to event number 20, the boys' 50-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Kevin Chapman of Atlantis. Lane 2, Kevin Kern of Darnick. Lane 3, Ryan Masenik of Splash. Lane 4, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 5, Joseph Boswell of Splash. And in lane 6, Nicholas Waniger of Paddock. The best time in the trials, Ryan Masenik of Splash, 24.57. USS National B time, USS National A, 1992 champion. That's Ryan Masenik. He won, let's see, he was a 1992 champion. No.
Clay Purdom.
Clay Purdom was. Okay, thanks for the correction. Clay Purdom won last year from Atlantis with a time of 24.80. The city record for this event, Brian Keller again from Darnick in 1987, 24.26. So Ryan Masenik in lane 3 of Splash, the best time in the trials, and he's out in front just by a bit, and nobody is very far behind. They make a strong turn, and right next to him in lane 2 is Kevin Kern. Kevin Kern challenging Ryan Masenik, and Masenik is going to hang on, I believe. Unofficial winner, Ryan Masenik of Splash in the boys' 50-yard, 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. 2 more freestyle races coming up. The girls' 50-yard freestyle for high school girls, the boys' 50 freestyle for high school boys. And these will be, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One thing interesting you'll notice about Ryan, he's a very talented swimmer. He can swim any length of freestyle. Usually in swimming you have your sprinters and then maybe a middle distance and your distance swimmers, you know, but he can just swim it all from the 50 to the 500, and we'll see that later on in the meet. In the 500, he set the meet record in that yesterday.
That is unusual. What's
really
your favorite? What's your strongest?
Well, probably 200 free, 100 free.
You like the 100? But you can swim them all, too. I know you can. Okay, we're ready to go with event number 21, the girls' 50-yard high school freestyle. In lane 1 is Liz Dassel of Splash. Lane 2, Ashley Reynolds of Owensboro Country Club. Nicole Vessels of Darnick is in lane 3. In lane 4, Leanne Presser of Darnick. Lane 5 is Carly Cundiff of Owensboro Country Club. Sarah Laux of Owensboro Country Club is in lane 6. Best time in the trials was 28.19. by Nicole Vessels in lane 3. The meet record, Jen Hargan of Splash in 91 with a 25.74. And are they
get
together?
Any closer. 28.19, 28.20 from yesterday.
Oh, they are all tight. They were close together with their times and making a good turn in lane 4.
Leanne Presser.
Was Leanne Presser. Can she hold on? And out here in lane 1, making a strong move is Liz Dassel, but it looks like lane 4 unofficially, Leanne Presser, and that was strictly on her turn, wasn't it, Jamie?
Definitely. They'll make you or break you.
And that made Leanne.
I learned that the hard way.
Leanne Presser with a very strong turn. Do you practice as much on your turns as you do with your regular swimming?
Yeah, but sometimes we'll take time out and practice to work on them, but pretty much anytime you're swimming, you know, and for training and conditioning, you can work on them then also. So
the turn made the difference there for Leanne Presser, the apparent winner, the unofficial winner of the girls' high school freestyle, 50 yards. This is event number 22 coming up. The boys' 50-yard freestyle for high school boys. In lane 1 is Stephen Delaney of Paddock. In lane 2, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. In lane 3, Brad Morse of Darnick. Lane 4, Josh Vanover of Darnick. Lane 5, Clay Purdom of Splash. And in lane 6, Chad Masenik of Darnick. The best time yesterday in the trials, 22.97 by Brad Morse of Darnick. The city record is 22.57. Eccleberry of Dornick in 1988. Brad Morris is the defending champion. And he jumps out to the early lead there in lane 3. But it is close, and a strong finish will be necessary from Chad and Brad if he's going to repeat his victory. Stephen Delaney moving up in lane 1, but it looks like in lane 3, Brad Morris of Dornick, the unofficial winner of the boys' 50-yard high school freestyle. You're watching the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet on Century TV2, and we'll be back in a moment.
First stop for vacation driving peace of mind, the Tire Mart. Over 40 years of quality automotive service assures you the kind of car care you can depend on. Need new tires before you go? Ask about a set of Michelins. You've got a lot riding on those tires. Don't settle for anything less. And the Tire Mart guarantees the lowest Michelin tire prices around. Michelin and Tire Mart, 2 names to depend on for driving peace of mind.
Dairy Queen does it again. Another Dairy Queen Brazier comes to Owensboro. Open now at the entrance to Town Square Mall. Get set to celebrate all weekend long, July 23rd through 25th. A prize-packed food and fun-filled extravaganza for the whole family. Clowns and contests for the kids. Plenty of hot eats and cool treats. Grand opening giveaways and more. July 23rd through 25th at the brand new Dairy Queen, South Frederica at the entrance to Town Square Mall. They treat you right at Dairy Queen.
You know who offers the most adorable and exquisite children's clothing? Sugar Babies. And now Sugar Babies introduces a brand new fashion statement, Jats, a special collection for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Sugar Babies now carry sizes up through juniors, including sizes 7 through 14 junior and preteen blazers. The Jats collection, now at Sugar Babies, specializing in preteen sizes and now presenting Jats for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Your choice for style with a difference is Sugar Babies in the Old Town Square Shopping Center.
Back at the Owensboro Country Club swimming pool, Jerry Burge along with Jamie Mueller. We're ready for event number 23, the girls 25 yards, 6 and under backstroke. The young ladies jumping in the water are number 1 in lane 1. In lane 1 is Grace Riddle of YMCA Town and Country. In lane 2, Jessica Smith. Lane 3, Jessica Berry. Lane 4, Rebecca Griffin. In lane 5, Katie Keller. In lane 6 is Catherine Howard. The best time is 26.46 by Jessica Berry. She's in lane 3. And they are all together in lane 4, Rebecca Griffin with the early edge. And this is the backstroke. It's 25 yards. And these youngsters, part of it is going straight, isn't it?
Trying to avoid hitting lines and not hitting their head.
So we're not sure.
If you'll watch, probably 3 or 4 of them will hit their heads.
And we're not sure who came in winner. And we're going to have to wait for the official results on that one. That's girls 25 yards, 6 and under backstroke. In the 28th annual Owensboro Summer Club Championships, we're calling it now. The 28th annual Owensboro Summer Club Championships. And moving ahead to event number 24 is the boys 25 yards, 6 and under backstroke. In lane 1 will be Bobby Doggett of Dornick, Talmadge Hawkers in lane 2 from Owensboro Country Club, Hunter Thompson of Paddock in lane 3, Matthew Keke of, am I pronouncing that right, or Koke or Keke?
I'm not familiar with the name.
Koeke of Dornick in lane 4. In lane 5, Bradford Myathaler of Owensboro Country Club, and in lane 6, Barrett Smith of Owensboro Country Club. Hunter Thompson of Paddock has the best time in the trials yesterday with a time of 25.53. The city record for these youngsters, boys 25 yards, 6 and under backstroke. Zach Sparks of Splash in 1991 at 24.13. Last year's winner was Jordan Doggett of Dornick. And Bobby Doggett is in there from Dornick in lane 1. So we're ready to go with the backstroke. This is the 25-yard backstroke for 6 and under boys. And out quickly in lane 4 with the early lead is Matthew Keke of Dornick. And he's going pretty steady. Very steady effort in lane 4. And it looks like he's going to come on top. Unofficially, the winner in lane 4, Matthew Keke of Dornick with a time. He had a time of 27.79 yesterday, a couple of seconds behind Hunter Thompson. But it looks like he came in the winner among these 6 and under boys in the 25-yard backstroke. What's the most difficult? What's the most difficult stroke to learn to teach these youngsters?
I'd probably say butterfly.
Butterfly's the toughest.
Because it's when you're younger, you know, it requires a lot of strength to pull your whole upper body out of the water to get a breath, and there's a lot of timing involved with the kicks. There's 2 dolphin kicks to each one arm stroke, so it's hard to figure out, you know, when the big kick goes and when the smaller kick goes, but once they get the hang of it.
Do the youngsters go with that? They do go with it, don't they?
Yes.
They get into that. Right now we're in the backstroke. These are girls 25 yards, 7 and 8-year-old backstroke. In lane 1 is Caroline Kirk of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 2, Katie Reed of Splash. Lane 3, Brittany Hocker of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Meredith Miller, YMCA Town and Country. Lane 5, Claire Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club. And lane 6, Rachel Howard of Splash. The city record is 19.26, set by Tammy Price of Splash at 89. Tracy Keller is the defending champion. Of course, she's not in the field right now. The best time yesterday, 19.6. Brittany Hocker in lane 3. And it looks like Brittany is right there on top, coming down to the wire at the finish of the girls' 25-yard, 7 and 8-year-old backstroke.
I didn't get my watch started on that one, but from how it looks yesterday, she might be close to that record.
She had us 19.6 yesterday, and the meet record is 19.26. So it looks like Brittany Hocker of Owensboro Country Club, the winner in the 25-yard, 7 and 8-year-old backstroke. Event number 26 is the boys' 25-yard, 7 and 8-year-old backstroke. And lane 1 is John Miles of Atlantis. Lane 2, Brett Russell of Splash. Lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash. Lane 4, Daniel Eggers of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 5, Mark Johnson of Atlantis. And lane 6, Alex Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. The best time yesterday, 19.85 by Zach Sparks of Splash. The city record is 18.52 by Purdom of Town and Country in 1986. Zach Sparks is the defending champion, so he's trying to make it 2 in a row. Evidently won it last year as a 7-year-old and is in it this year as an 8-year-old.
Coming back for another try.
He's going to try to make it 2 in a row. Zach Sparks of Splash. We'll watch him in lane 3. This is the boys' 7 and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke. And we're ready to go. They're in the water.
Go, guys.
And you can hear words of encouragement from the sideline, from the fans that are here. A good crowd on hand. Last-minute instructions. The coaches stand there with them at the start. Can they give them instructions at the last minute?
Yeah, I think these blocks might be like coming a little loose. It helps to have someone stand on them.
Okay, here we go. And they're really neck and neck as they come by us. And we'll watch in lane 3 for Zach Sparks. And he might be opening up a little bit of a lead and is starting to pull away at the finish of the 25-yard backstroke. And it looks like Zach Sparks is going to make it 2 in a row in the 25-yard, 7 and 8-year-old competition.
2 for 2.
In the Owensboro City Swim Meet. And we're going to move right along. More backstroke activity. And again, we move up in age to the girls' 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old backstroke. In lane 1 is Misty Knoll of Splash. Lane 2, Kate Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Christine Coy of Paddock. Lane 4, Amber Smith of Splash. Lane 5, Tracy Keller of Splash. Lane 6, Neely Thomas of Paddock. The best time in the trials was 38.55. Christine Coy of Paddock. The city meet record, Geyer of Darnick in 1986, 33.94. Christine Coy of Paddock is the defending champion. So Christine in lane 3 will be trying to make it 2 in a row. And we may have a moment here to give you some official winners. In event 1, the girls 100-yard, 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. And we're going to have to see how we do this. Let's see, the winning team is right here, right? Okay, this is the winning team, Owensboro Country Club, with Cotton, Audrey Cotton, Caroline Kirk, Jamie Oliver, and Brittany Hocker, the winner, with a winning time of 1:14.08. That was in the girls 100-yard, 7 and 8-year-old freestyle relay. Our first official result of the evening. They're in the water now for the 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old backstroke. And again, this will be 2 laps. Christine Coy of Paddock, the one to beat in lane 3. And indeed, Christine has opened up the lead at the end of the first 25 yards. And out here in lane 1, Misty Knoll, a Splash, the challenge. Here's the turn, and after the turn, still in lane 3 is Christine Coy of Paddock. And out in lane 5, making a challenge, is Tracy Keller and Misty Knoll in lane 1, but I believe it's going to be in lane 3. Christine Coy of Paddock coming home the winner. Hers 2 in a row for Christine as she apparently repeats her championship with a win in the girls 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old backstroke.
Owensboro Country
Event
Club.
number 28 will be the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old backstroke. The field includes in lane 1, Jake Sparks of Splash. Lane 2, Tim Lamont of Darnick. Lane 3, Kyle Roby of Splash. Lane 4, Joe Miles of Atlantis. Logan Johnson of Paddock is in lane 5. And in lane 6 will be Tim Brandon of Paddock. The best time by far in the trials was Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 35.57. He is the defending champion, and he'll be the one to beat. While they get ready to line up, let's give some more official results. In event 2, the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle relay. The winning team was Owensboro Country Club with Morgan Ford, Don Penn Moore, Alex Augustine, and Daniel Eggers. Their winning time 1:16.89. Event 3 was the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle winner relay. The winning team was Splash with Jessica Berry, Jenny Myers, Tracy Keller, and Amber Smith. Their winning time was 1:01.90. And is that a, no, that is the winning time. In event number 4, boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle, the official winner was Splash with Jake Sparks, Tony Price, Zach Sparks, and Kyle Roby, and their time was 1:04.25. Those are some official results for you from the races earlier. Right now we're in event number 28, the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old backstroke, and the guy to beat is Kyle Roby. It's a Splash, and from the time yesterday in the trials, he's going to be tough to beat. And you can see already.
9 seconds and a 50, that's a very large amount.
And he's all the way out in front now, and that's what we predicted, and that's no great prediction on our part. We just had to look at those times. He makes the turn, and this is going to be probably the most impressive win thus far in the meet. A distant second right now is Jake Sparks of Splash, but coming home the winner evidently is Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 35.57 to win the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old backstroke. Event number 29 is the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old backstroke, and as we watch the boys finish, we'll run down the field and give us a chance to give you some other official results. In event 29, the girls 50 11 and 12-year-old backstroke, Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club in lane 1, Emily Ebelherr in lane 2 from Paddock, Tammy Price from Splash in lane 3, Kelly Kern in lane 4 from Darnick, Amanda Lee of Splash in lane 5, and Kelly Shamil of Atlantis in lane 6. The best time is Tammy Price of Splash with a time of 33.57 in yesterday's trials. The city record, Tanya Ledane, 29.81 of Town and Country in 1984. Last year's winner was Heather Woolley of Splash. Here's some other official results from earlier. Event number 5, the girls 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old free relay. The winning team was Splash with Amanda Lee, Jennifer Price, Kendra Patterson, and Tammy Price. The winning time 56.68. Event number 6, official winner of the boys 100-yard 11 and 12 freestyle relay. The winner was Splash with Josh Murphy, Jake Sparks, Kyle Roby, and Nick Roby. Their winning time, 1:22. That was event number 6. Right now we're watching event number 29. Or let me see, this is, this is event 29. The 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old backstroke. And on the turn, Tammy Price in lane 3 has the lead as they head down for the final 25 yards. Her time was 33.57. And it looks like she's going to hold on and come home the apparent winner in event number 29, Tammy Price of Splash, the winner of the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old backstroke. Again, that is unofficial, but it looks like Tammy coming back with the victory in event number 29, the girls 50-yard backstroke, 11 and 12-year-olds. We'll move ahead to the boys 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old backstroke. In a moment, they'll be getting ready for this competition. The field will include in lane 1, Nick Roby of Splash. In lane 2, Josh Murphy of Splash. Lane 3, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. Lane 4, Joe Younger of Atlantis. Lane 5, Chris Harney of Atlantis. And lane 6, Jeremiah Johnson of Darnick. The best time yesterday was 38.25 by Nathan Waniger, and the city record is 30.76. Brian Keller of Darnick. Last year's winner was Joseph Boswell of Splash. More official results. Event number 7, the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle relay was won by Splash with Angie Janiak, Sarah Howard, Rocky Hatton, and Katie Malone. Their time 51.92. Event number 8, was the boys' 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old freestyle relay. The winner was Splash with Joseph Boswell, John Hicks, John Hayden, and Ryan Masenic. The time 50.35. That was event 8. This is event number 30, the boys' 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old backstroke. And in lane 3, we have our eye on Nathan Waniger of Paddock. He's out in front. He's the one to beat. He makes his turn, and Nathan is going to be tough to beat. But he does have some competition in lanes 4 and 5. That's Joe Younger of Atlantis and Chris Harney of Atlantis. But it appears Nathan Waniger will have too much as he comes down to the finish of the 50-yard backstroke. Boys, 11 and 12-year-old Nathan Waniger, the apparent winner, representing the Paddock Swim Club. That was event number 30. And we continue with the backstroke competition in event number 31, the girls 100-yard. That'll be 4 trips of the pool, 4 lengths of the pool. In the girls 100-yard, 13, 14-year-old backstroke. In lane 1 will be Rocky Hatton of Splash. In lane 2, Lindsey Green of Paddock. In lane 3, Katie Malone of Splash. In lane 4, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. In lane 5, Heather Woolley of Splash. And in lane 6, Lindsay Abel of Darnick. The best time, 109.12 yesterday by Katie Malone of Splash. The meet record and the defending champion, Katie Malone. She did it last year. Katie Malone of Splash, who's here to defend her title. And she also holds the meet record with a 108.32. And she is the defending champion with that 108.32 set last year. And let me rearrange these for you a little bit, kiddo. Well, we'll get it in a minute. We're in the water and we're ready to go. And we're going to see if the defending champion and the record holder can do it again. She certainly will be tough to beat. Katie Malone of Splash, and boy, what a smooth stroke
it's real
she
powerful.
She makes the turn. Katie Malone of Splash trying to make it 2 in a row here in the girls 13 and 14-year-old backstroke. And I don't think she's going to have any competition as she comes to the wire. There she is, Katie Malone. Katie Malone, the apparent winner. No, this is 100. That's right. I'm sorry.
13-14.
Okay, that was a halfway mark, but I don't think we're speaking too soon. As she's just, with this extra distance now, she's just opening up her lead is what she's doing.
See, if you'll notice, she'll swim backstroke and she'll turn from side to side rather than actually swimming, flat on her back. That way, you can create
a rhythm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you can really get into emotion.
And some of the others just lay flat and just go back with it. And
you really need to roll the shoulders and roll the hips together and create a rhythm like that.
Very impressive win for Katie Malone of Splash. She is the record holder. So
she broke that city record, I think, by 3 seconds.
On your time?
Oh, I didn't get it. I thought I heard him yell out on 105.
Okay, so she may, and of course, if she sets the record,
she was going for it.
She'll be breaking her own record, as she was not only the defending champion, but she is the record holder for this event. Katie Malone of Splash. And they're talking to her now as she prepares to get out of the water.
That's a great swim.
That was a very good effort. A good effort by Katie Malone, as she may have added to her record.
4 seconds from yesterday.
Wow, good effort by Katie Malone.
That was a super swim.
That is unofficial, and we'll get that to you as soon as we can. Event number 32 will be the boys 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old backstroke. In lane 1 is Nicholas Waniger of Paddock. In lane 2, Joseph Boswell of Splash. Lane 3, Ryan Masenic of Splash. Lane 4, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 5 is Kevin Kern of Darnick. And lane 6, Aaron Aud of Darnick. The best time yesterday, 104.87 by Ryan Masenic. The city record is 101.59 by Brian Keller of Darnick, and Ryan Masenic is back to defend the title that he won last year with a time of 106.15. So we'll keep our eyes on Splash's Ryan Masenic in lane number 3 of the boys 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old backstroke.
Final call for event 39. 11 and 12-year-old girls, 50-yard breaststroke.
Now, he doesn't have as big a lead as Katie had at this point. In fact, in lane 4, Trent Thomas of Paddock has the early lead at the end of the first 25 yards, and he makes a good turn.
Trent's got a lot of speed.
So Ryan Masenic is going to have to come from behind if he's going to repeat the title that he won a year ago in this 100-yard backstroke.
First call for event 43.
They make the turn, and they'll come into view here. We'll watch for lanes 3 and 4, and it's still Trent. Trent Thomas out in front, and Ryan Masenik in lane 3, but Ryan's gaining
It'll come
just
down to this
a little
last
bit.
turn.
And boy, oh boy, here's the turn, and it looked like he just hesitated a bit and on the turn, and it's going to have to be a strong finish.
A little bit on that turn.
Trent Thomas and Ryan Masenik.
It's going to be all timing into the wall now.
Oh boy, and a strong finish here by Ryan, and who's going to come in? I think it may have been Ryan Masenik. He may have caught Trent there at the end. I'm not sure. That's going to be unofficial, and we're going to wait to see. Event number 32 is one we really want to check when we get the official results. That's the completion of the boys' 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old backstroke. Backstroke continues now. We move into the high school competition. And the event number 33 is the girls' 100-yard high school backstroke. In lane 1 is Liz Dassel of Splash. Now, you know a lot about some of these kids, I trust.
Yeah,
so go ahead and we'll get your comments on some of these. Liz Dassel of Splash, Leanne Presser of Dornick in lane 2. In lane 3, Chrissy Geyer of Paddock. Lane 4, Mandy Keller of Dornick. Lane 5, Tanya Miller of Dornick. And lane 6, Erica Lamar of Atlantis. The best time yesterday, 110.95 by Chrissy Geyer of Paddock. She'll be the one to beat.
Yeah, this should be a good race. Chrissy and Mandy's both of their best strokes are backstroke, so it should be interesting. They've raced, in high school competition, over the past couple of years. So
Mandy Keller is the defending champion. She's in lane 4. She's the defending champ with a time of 110.75 last year. The city record is 103.06. Tanya Ledane of Dornick in 1988. So we'll keep our eye especially on lanes 3 and 4. Chrissy Geyer of Paddock and Mandy Keller of Dornick. And as they come by, again, it is 3 and 4 out in front. And it looks like in lane 3, Chrissy Geyer has the lead at the end of the first 25 yards. Makes a good turn. And it stays there in lanes 3 and 4 between Geyer and Keller. And Geyer holds on to the lead as they approach the halfway mark, and it looks like she's opening up a little bit of an advantage here. So it's Chrissy Geyer and Mandy Keller. Mandy Keller is the defending champion. Chrissy Geyer trying to stop that streak, and she may do it. Mandy Keller in lane 4 has dropped about 10 yards behind, and now here it's Chrissy Geyer making the turn for Paddock as she tries to head home the winner. Chrissy Geyer trying to come home winner in event number 33, the girls' 100-yard high school backstroke, and it appears she will be in as the victor in event 33. And I've really got those results messed up, don't I, Jamie? So I'll let you straighten them out for us as we watch Chrissy Geyer come home the winner. So
107.9.
107.9, and that certainly improves on her time in the trials of 110.95. That'll move us into event number 34, the boys' 100-yard high school backstroke. In this event, it'll be in lane 1, Josh Vanover of Dornick. In lane 2, Matt Grawl of Atlantis. Lane 3, Brad Morris of Dornick. Lane 4, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. Lane 5, Clay Purdom of Splash. And in lane 6, Matt Shrewsbury of Splash. Matt Morris of Dornick had the best time in the trials, 105.96, just ahead of Jeremiah Johnson, who had a 106.71. The city record, 59.09. Brian Keller of Dornick in 1988. Last year's champion was Nate Pajak of Dornick with a time of 101.4. So we'll watch in the middle lanes again, Brad Morris of Dornick and Jeremiah Johnson. And challenging them will be Josh Vanover, Matt Grawl, Clay Purdom, and Matt Shrewsbury. They're in the water, and we're about ready to go with event number 34, the boys' 100-yard high school backstroke. Boys, 100 yards. Here we go. And they're off. Brad Morris in 3, Jeremiah Johnson in 4, and as they come by the first time, it's going to be in lane 3 and 4 right there, head-to-head are Brad Morris and Jeremiah Johnson. And with a slight lead, Brad Morris with the turn, he opens up just a slight advantage over Jeremiah as they approach the halfway mark. Are you that much aware of where you are in the middle of a race like this, or can you sense if you're in the lead or how close you are to the leader?
You can really. It's harder on backstroke to tell because once they get past probably half a body length ahead of you can't see anything but their kick, and after that you can't see. But on the other strokes, freestyle and butterfly especially, you can really check out the competition and
Thanks to a couple of good turns, Jeremiah Johnson has taken a big lead, and it looked like Brad Morris came to a stop.
Something happened. I didn't see the turn.
He stopped at the turn. He fell way behind. Something must have happened on the second last turn because that's where Jeremiah Johnson took the lead, and Jeremiah Johnson's going to come in the winner, and Brad Morris is going to be coming up very slowly at the finish.
I think he was disqualified because I saw an official raise their hand. So I'm not sure what happened. There was somebody standing in the way, but
I know on the turn, Jeremiah Johnson did take the lead, and it was very close coming down to the final turn. But at the turn, all of a sudden, Brad Morris just stopped and looked up at the official there. So evidently, it appears that Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis comes home the winner of the boys 100-yard high school backstroke. You're watching the 28th annual Owensboro Summer Club Championships, the city swim meet on Century TV2, and we'll be back with more action after this timeout.
In lane 1 from YMCA Town and Country.
Says put yourself in our place. Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome. The friendly staff will make you feel at home, and quiet, elegant surroundings add to your dining pleasure. Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a great time to relax and enjoy some of the best food served in the tri-state. The Holiday Inn of Owensboro says put yourself in our place. The Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome.
In any arena, basketball or business, you've got to know what your players can do. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. Talk to your authorized Sharp dealer who'll show you a game plan booklet that can help you find the right copier that's going to reduce your operating expenses and increase productivity big time. Whether it's a more efficient Sharp high-volume duplicating system or a compact upgradable copier, call Office World and get Sharp's winning game plan.
First stop for vacation driving peace of mind, the Tire Mart. Over 40 years of quality automotive service assures you the kind of car care you can depend on. Need new tires before you go? Ask about a set of Michelins. You've got a lot riding on those tires. Don't settle for anything less. And the Tire Mart guarantees the lowest Michelin tire prices around. Michelin and Tire Mart. Two names to depend on for driving peace of mind.
Back at the Owensboro Country Club pool, Jerry Birds along with Jamie Mueller. We're moving very quickly along to event number 35. How many events do we have in the city swim meet? We have 86, so we're not quite halfway there. But, boy, they have really run this meet beautifully thus far. Event 35, the girls' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old breaststroke. In lane 1 is Meredith Miller of YMCA Town and Country. Lane 2, Jamie Oliver of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Audrey Cotton of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 5, Savannah Perry of Darnick. Lane 6, Caroline Kirk of Owensboro Country Club. The best time in the trials yesterday, 22.94 by Audrey Cotton of OCC. The city record is 20.37 by Miller of Town and Country back in 1989. Jacqueline Berry of Splash won last year and is not in the field now. So we have
If you'll notice, there's 4 swimmers from the country club in there, so they should be scoring a lot of points in this event. And, you know, that's a good sign when you have a lot of younger swimmers because that's the future of your team right there. So if they can keep developing those swimmers, they...
I have a hunch this new pool has something to do with it too. For this team from the Owensboro Country Club.
You get a new facility, you know, swimmers come out pretty much from everywhere.
What makes the breaststroke different from all the others here now? What's the difference between
Well, most of the other strokes, they're more like starting it, you know, with your arm extended and sweeping downward, but breaststroke's more of a scooping motion. So it's a totally different, you know, set of muscles.
And it appears Audrey Cotton of Owensboro Country Club came home winner again. We repeat, in case you just joined us, at the finish of each of these races, especially these short races, it's very difficult from our vantage point to come up with who the winner is. All of the results that we give you are unofficial, and we'll catch you up as the broadcast or the telecast continues with with more official results as they come to us. And in the longer races, of course, we'll have more time to catch up as we've given you the results about the first 7 or 8 races thus far, and we're ready. We're up to event number 36. The boys 25 yards, 7 and 8-year-old breaststroke. In lane 1 will be Mark Johnson of Atlantis. Lane 2, Ben Ambrose of Atlantis. Lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash. Lane 4, Brett Russell of Splash. Lane 5, Don Penn Moore of Owensboro Country Club. And lane 6, Greg Blanford of Atlantis. The best time in the trials, 21.38 by Zach Sparks of Splash. Zach is the defending champion. He won last year for Splash with a time of 22.76. Brian Wilkerson of Paddock is the city meet record with a time of 20.27 set in 1986. This is the boys 25 yards, 7 and 8-year-old breaststroke in the Owensboro City Swim Meet, coming your way on Century TV2. The Owensboro Summer Club Championships. They're in the water. This is 25 yards, the breaststroke. And let's see, in lane 3.
Lane 3 had an excellent start.
That is Zach Sparks trying to make it 2 in a row. And Zach, good movement. And it appears from our vantage point, Zach Sparks of Splash will come home the unofficial winner of the boys 25-yard, 7 and 8-year-old breaststroke. That was event number 36 as we approach the halfway mark of the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet. Event number 37 will be the girls 50 yards, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke. In lane 1 will be Neely Thomas of Paddock. In lane 2, Amber Smith of Splash. In lane 3, Jacqueline Berry of Splash. Lane 4, Christine Paddock, or Christine Coy of Paddock. Christine Paddock of Coy, maybe I should say. Christine Coy of Paddock in lane 4. Kate Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club in lane 5. And Katie Griffin of YMCA Town and Country in lane 6. Best time in the trials was Jacqueline Berry of Splash with a 42.65. Beth Ludwig of Owensboro Country Club was the defending champion, the city record. Jamie Mueller of Darnick in 1987, a time of 38.58. And looking at those times from the trials yesterday, Jamie, I think your record is safe, but I'm sure you wouldn't mind seeing it fall to have the thrill of watching someone set a city meet record.
Exactly.
And Jacqueline Berry will be the young lady to watch in lane 3. This is 50 yards. It'll be 2 lengths of the pool. Girls 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke. Jacqueline Berry in 3. And out in lane 4 with the early lead is Christine Coy of Paddock. And on each move here, and out in lane 1, we see Neely Thomas of Paddock. Neely Thomas of Paddock.
They only qualified a couple tenths apart, so they should be pretty close on the finish.
Boy, this is going to be tight. In taking the lead just barely is Jacqueline Berry of Splash, but right there with her is Amber Smith of Splash. And, or no, that's Christine Coy. And I believe it is going to be in lane 3, Jacqueline Berry of Splash, the apparent winner in the girls 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke. But it was a close one again, and the times did indicate that from the times that they had yesterday in the trials here at the Owensboro Country Club. Moving ahead to event number 38 will be the boys 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke. In lane 1 will be Tim Brandon of Paddock. Lane 2, Taylor Smith, Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Kyle Roby of Splash. Lane 4, Jake Sparks of Splash. Lane 5, Blake Lamar of Atlantis. And lane 6, Logan Johnson of Paddock. The best time in the trials was Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 42.07, and that was about 3 seconds better than Jake Sparks of Splash, who had a 45.21. Last year's champion was Chris Harney of Atlantis. The city meet record is 39.23, set in 1986 by Nathan Hobbs of Darnick. We're set to go with the boys 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke, event number 38 of the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet.
This is the second call for event.
And in lane 3, indeed, Kyle Roby of Splash grabs the early lead. This will be 2 laps. Boy, right there with him on each side, we have Taylor Smith of Owensboro Country Club in 2 and Jake Sparks of Splash in 4. But on the turn and grabbing the lead or holding on to the lead is Kyle Roby of Splash. And Roby, Kyle Roby, way out in front now, and it looks like he's going to come home winner. Kyle Roby of Splash, who had the best time by far yesterday in the trials, comes home the apparent winner, the unofficial winner of the boys 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke.
Yeah, if you'll notice, Kyle will be able to bring home all of his races really strong. You know, he doesn't, die maybe as much as the other ones do. It's probably, he trains in the 50-meter long course pool with the racers. So that can give you the endurance sometimes at the end of a race that you need.
So that that certainly would make a
it.
difference when you come into the 25-yard
Yeah,
pool, and
exactly.
it just seems like a piece of cake then. So evidently that is to their advantage. Event number 39 is a girls 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old breaststroke, and lane 1 is Kelly Shamil of Atlantis. Lane 2, Amanda Lee of Splash. Lane 3, Tori Duvall of Atlantis. Lane 4, Emily Ebelhair of Paddock. Lane 5, Kelly Kern of Darnick, and lane 6, Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club. And boy, we have some close times here from the trials. Tori Duvall of Atlantis, 39.36 yesterday. Emily Ebelhair of Paddock, 39.67. Amanda Lee of Splash, 39.89. City record is 34.31. Tanya Ledane of Town and Country. Rocky Hatton was the winner last year. And we keep our eye on lane 3, and just with the smallest lead, and Kelly Shamil of Atlantis in lane 1 may take the lead at the turn. And as we head down the final lap, let's see, boy, this is close. A strong effort in lane 1 by Kelly Shamil. And Tori Duvall in lane 3.
In lane 2, Amanda Lee seems to be coming up pretty strong.
And it's going to be either 3 or 1. Let's see. Again, we don't know how they reacted down there at the end. It's going to be close. We're not going to call that one either. We'll watch for the official result on event 39. Kelly Shamil of Atlantis with a strong effort, and Tori Duvall of Atlantis. Very tight race. That was event number 39, the girls 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old breaststroke. Event number 40 will be the boys 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old breaststroke. In lane 1 is Josh Murphy of Splash. Lane 2, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. Lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 4, Nick Roby of Splash. Lane 5, Joe Younger of Atlantis. And lane 6, Jeremiah Johnson of Darnick. Again, we have some very close times of the trials yesterday. Harney had the best time, 41.71. Roby had a 41.79. That is about as close as you can get. The city record is 34.13. Chad Masenik of Darnick in 1989. Joseph Boswell is the defending champion. The ones to watch in the middle, they should be right there side by side. Chris Harney and Nick Roby, but just a second or so behind are Nathan Waniger and Joe Younger, according to the times that they had yesterday in the trials. They're in the water. This is 50-yard breaststroke. And boy, oh boy, we got in lanes 2 and 3. That's Nathan Waniger and Chris Harney just right side by side as they make the turn. And they both make strong turns, and they are right side by side. And right out there is Nathan Waniger to move up too. So it's Chris Harney. They are all close together in lane 2, Nathan Waniger and Chris Harney. And it looks like in lane 2, Nathan Waniger, isn't it?
Yes.
From what we can see is... And the apparent winner in lane 2 is Nathan Waniger of Paddock. Unofficial. And we may call some of these wrong from our vantage point. As we say, we cannot see the finish, and we'll catch up with the official results as time does permit. We quickly move ahead to event number 41, the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. In lane 1 will be Amy Smith of Splash. In lane 2, Courtney Lindau of Darnick. Lane 3, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 4, Angie Janiak of Splash. Lane 5, Mackenzie Helm of Atlantis. And lane 6, Lindsey Green of Paddock. The best time in the trials was 1:18:06 by Rocky Hatton of Splash. Erica Lamar of Atlantis won this event a year ago. The meet record, the city meet record, is Snyder of Darnick in 1987. Diane Snyder of Darnick in 1987 with the city meet record of 1:15.77. This is the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. And this will be 4 laps of this 25-yard pool at the Owensboro Country Club.
Oh, somebody's goggles fell off.
What happened there?
Someone's goggles fell off. I hate when that happens.
So some swimmers don't wear goggles, right?
Right. It's just kind of a...
Do you wear them?
Yeah. My eyes hurt too bad. I can maybe make it 50 or so, but...
It looks like in 2 and 5, Courtney Lindau and Mackenzie Helm possibly in the early lead. This is going to be close as they reach a halfway point of the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. And we're going to have to pick them up as they head down for the final turn in this event. And it's been close all the way. In lane 2, a strong effort here by Courtney Lindau. And she has the slightest of leads over in lane 4, Angie Janiak and Rocky Hatton in lane 3. This turn's going to be very critical right here. And, oh, my goodness, look at that. 3 of them right there in 2, 3, and 4. That's Lindau, Hatton, and Janiak. They're going to battle it out right down the wire, and not too far back is Mackenzie Helm. And this one may be too close to call, although it looks like from here, maybe Rocky Hatton a splash in lane 3. And that's what we're going to call it unofficially for the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. And we'll move ahead to event number 42, the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. And lane 1 will be Kevin Chapman of Atlantis. Lane 2, John Hayden of Splash. Lane 3, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 4, Joseph Boswell of Splash. Lane 5, Kevin Kern of Darnick. And lane 6, from the Owensboro Country Club, Jake Wooldridge. The best time yesterday by a couple of seconds is 1:11.18 by Trent Thomas of Paddock. Trent is the defending champion. Brian Keller of Darnick holds the meet record for this event, set in 1987, the time of 1:10.72, and that time yesterday in the trials not that far off from the meet record. So we're about ready to go with the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. And again, the action just moves on very quickly.
And if you'll notice on the breaststroke, off the dive and then again off each wall, each swimmer's allowed to take one arm pull and then one kick underneath water and then surface. It's called an underwater pull out.
Okay.
So.
And there they go. There with that one.
One pull and then the one
there,
kick.
And one kick, then he comes up.
And so that's where you can really gain up. Like, see, I'm not a very good breaststroker, but you can make up a lot on the turns by getting a good pull out and getting halfway down the pull just from a turn.
And just as you were saying that, Jamie, we had our eye on Trent Thomas, and that really paid off for him. He was dead even on the turn.
See, he really has good underwater pull-outs.
So Trent Thomas of Paddock with some strong turns has opened up a fairly decent lead, not that much actually. In lane 2 is John Haight, or in lane 4 is Joseph Boswell of Splash. Here's the turn, and again, there's that kick, and he's up, and he's going to be hard to catch. Joseph Boswell trying to catch him there in lane 4, but Trent Thomas of Paddock will come home the apparent winner of the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke competition in the Owensboro City Swim Meet. As we watch him come out. And we'll take this break. Did you just cut it? Hello there.
Yeah.
All right, did you take a break there? Yeah. Okay. You don't want to take one after the high school? See, we'll have one coming up on each section. After the high school, each time they take a little break.
You've always counted on Sugar Babies to bring you the most adorable and exquisite children's clothing. Now Sugar Babies introduces a brand new fashion statement, Jats, a special collection for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Boys polos in sizes 4 through 20, guests for girls in sizes 4 through preteen, and more. The Jats collection, now at Sugar Babies, specializing in preteen sizes and now presenting Jats for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Your choice for style with a difference is Sugar Babies in the Old Town Square Shopping Center.
Dining out? Holiday Inn of Owensboro says, put yourself in our place. Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome. The friendly staff will make you feel at home, and quiet, elegant surroundings add to your dining pleasure. Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a great time to relax and enjoy some of the best food served in the tri-state. The Holiday Inn of Owensboro says, put yourself in our place. The Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome.
This is the book of the new FCC regulations for cable television, all 512 pages of it. And what it contains will affect you. Century Cable may be required to remove some cable channels from your screen in order to add additional local broadcast stations. In October, your monthly cable bill may look different too. As you can see, this is a huge book jam-packed with new laws. At Century, we're working diligently to interpret and comply with those laws, and we'll keep you informed about changes as they occur over the next few months. Watch for updates on Century Cable.
One from Garnett, Savannah Perry.
Back at the Owensboro Country Club pool, Jerry Birch along with Jamie Mueller on a hot and humid afternoon. We're moving on to event number 45, the girls' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly. In lane 1 is Savannah Perry of Darnick. Lane 2, Claire Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Brittany Hocker, Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Caroline Kirk of Owensboro Country Club. In lane 5, Jamie Oliver, Owensboro Country Club. And lane 6, Meredith Miller of YMCA Town and Country. Best time, Brittany Hocker, 18.2 in the trials. The meet record is 17.33, set last year by Mary Jones of Splash. So here they go. This is the girls' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly, and I figure we might get splashed a little bit on this one by the young lady in lane 1. But in lane 3, Brittany Hocker opens up the lead, and it looks like she's going to come home winner of the girls' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly. So Brittany Hocker
She doesn't need him back.
comes up with a victory for Owensboro Country Club. Her time in the trials was 18.2, and she certainly romped home with an impressive win here in the finals. Moving ahead to event number 46 will be the boys' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly. In lane 1, Jordan Doggett of Darnick. Lane 2, John Miles of Atlantis. Lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash. Lane 4, Brett Russell of Splash. Lane 5, Daniel Eggers of Owensboro Country Club. And in lane 6, Matthew Settles of Atlantis. By far the best time in the trials was 17.48 by Zach Sparks of Splash. And the meet record is 17.1 by Mullican of Town and Country in 1975. Matt Mullican. And in 1992, the winner was Zach Sparks. So Zach is trying to make it two in a row for this event.
He's really close to that record. That'd be a neat accomplishment to get,
Come up with a back-to-back win.
1975 record there.
That is one of the older records, I think it is. We haven't really kept track that much. That is the oldest record, 1975. Let's see, this is the
He was just 3/10 off of it yesterday in qualification, so he's got a good shot at it, I'd say.
So we'll watch Zach Sparks of Splash in lane 3. He'll be the one to beat here in the 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly. As the sun begins to move down, and it'll be coming right at us. We're seated on the east side of the pool, and that sun's going to be going down in the west away from us. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. And now they're ready to go. They're getting on the blocks, and we'll be ready to go with the boys' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly. You can't blink on this one either, as this will be over in a flash. 17.48 the time last night or yesterday for Zach Sparks in the trials. And Zach's in the water, and in lane 3 he's got a slight lead, but with the short distance here, the 25-yard is going to be hard to overtake Zach Sparks as he heads into the
for event 51, 13 and 14-year-old girls, 100-yard butterflies.
Into the
Second call for event 52, 13 and 14-year-old
at the finish, Zach Sparks of Splash repeating his victory of a year ago, and the apparent winner unofficially, the boys' 25-yard, 7- and 8-year-old butterfly.
First call for event 54, high school boys, 100-yard butterfly. This is event 47, 9 and 10-year-old girls, 50-yard butterfly. In lane 1 from Owensboro Country Club, Kate Carruthers.
Okay, so now we're moving into event 47, girls 50 fly.
Okay, I got distracted there a little bit. The boys' 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old. No, this is the butterfly. Where are we at here? I lost track. This is the girls. Okay, girls 50-yard, event number 47. Girls 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old butterfly. In lane 1 is Kate Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club. Amber Smith of Splash in lane 2. Tracy Keller of Splash in lane 3. Jacqueline Berry of Splash in lane 4. Christine Coy of Paddock in lane 5. And Elizabeth Eggers of Owensboro Country Club in lane 6. So it'll be the best time in the trials was 37.1 by Tracy Keller of Splash. A couple of seconds better than her closest competitors. The meet record, 33.15.
And Laura Humphrey.
Laura Humphrey of Dornick in 1985. Kelly Kern was the winner last year. And in lane 3, this is 50 yards, so it'll be 2 laps. And jumping out to the early lead, indeed, is Tracy Keller of Splash. And her closest competitor over in lane 4 is Jacqueline Berry of Splash. So Splash appears headed to 1 and 2 finish. Leading the way in the girls 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old butterfly is Tracy Keller of Splash, the apparent winner of the 50-yard butterfly. That was event 46 as we continue to move along. And we'll move into event number 48, the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old butterfly. In lane 1 will be Tim Lamont of Dornick. In lane 2, Tim Brandon of Paddock. Lane 3, Kyle Roby of Splash. Lane 4, Joe Miles of Atlantis. Lane 5, Jake Sparks of Splash. Lane 6, Brandon Black of Paddock. And boy, look at this time. Yesterday in the trials, Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 34.91. The closest to him, 41.35. Joe Miles of Atlantis will be in lane 4. Kyle Roby is the defending champion. He won last year with a time of 36.34. As we said, he had a 34.91 yesterday. The city meet record for the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old butterfly, Ryan Lesenick of Dornick in 1989, a time of 33.11.
7 seconds is just a huge amount of time
in only 50 yards. I don't
know.
I don't see how they could possibly catch it. But here we go. We're ready to go with the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old butterfly. And we're ready to go. Here we go. The boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old butterfly. We'll watch Kyle Roby of Splash in the number 3 lane, and very quickly he does open up a big lead. And it'd be safe to assume that he's not going to be challenged as he covers the final 25 yards of this 50-yard butterfly.
If you'll notice how well he uses his hips, that's a real key in butterfly, is getting into that, back and forth rhythm and stuff.
So you're not only using your shoulders and your arms, you're using your whole body.
Instead of doing the dolphin kick and bending it at the knees, you really use the hips and get into a movement there. So.
He evidently was doing something right. Kyle Roby with his second straight win in the 9 and 10-year-old butterfly. He was the defending champion, wins again for Splash. Kyle Roby, the winner of the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old butterfly. We move on to event number 49. This is the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old butterfly. Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club is in lane 1. Jessica Poole of Paddock in lane 2. Tammy Price of Splash in lane 3. Kelly Kern of Dornick in lane 4. Kelly Shamil of Atlantis in lane 5. And Valerie Reed of Splash in lane 6. The quick time in the trials, 33:07 by Tammy Price. Next to her in lane 6, Kelly Kern had a 34.06 yesterday, and Jessica Poole in lane 2 from Paddock had a 35.06.
In lane 1 from Owensboro Country Club.
The defending champion, let's see, the city record is, we don't have the defending champion marked here.
Wow.
We didn't have it on here. Okay, so the city meet record, though, is Tanya Ledane of Town and Country in 1984, 27.83.
And in lane 6 from Splash, Valerie Reed.
So it'll be Tammy Price of Splash, the one to watch here, in the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old butterfly. "50 yards, 2 laps at this beautiful new Owensboro Country Club swimming pool. The Owensboro City Swim Meet coming your way on Century TV 2. They're in the water. These are the 11 and 12-year-old girls, 50-yard butterfly. And I'll tell you what, we've got a tight one going right here. Just with the slightest of leads in lane 3 is Tammy Price. Let's watch the turn. And the turn is to the advantage of Tammy as she does open up an edge, and she's going to be hard to catch. In lane 2, closest challenger is Jessica Poole of Paddock. But it's going to be Tammy Price of Splash, the apparent winner, the unofficial winner of the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old butterfly. Event number 50 is the 50-yard butterfly for boys 11 and 12 years old. In lane 1 from Splash is Josh Murphy. Lane 2 from Atlantis is Chris Harney. In lane 3, Nathan Weiniger of Paddock. In lane 4, Nick Roby of Splash. In lane 5, Joe Younger of Atlantis. In lane 6, Griffin of YMCA Town and Country. And we have some close times from yesterday's trials. Nathan Waniger of Paddock had the best time with a 35.75. Right behind in lane 4 is Nick Roby of Splash with a 36.25. And in lane 2, Chris Harney of Atlantis in 36.5. So Waniger will be the one to beat, but he'll be flanked by a couple of close competitors. The city meet record in this event is 28.83 by Brian Keller of Dornick in 1985. So it's Murphy, Harney, Waniger, Roby, Younger, and Griffin, the 6 competitors for boys 50 yards, 11 and 12-year-old butterfly. And we're ready to go. They're in the water, and here come the boys. 11 and 12-year-old boys. They'll be going 2 laps. We'll keep our eye on lane 3, and indeed it is Nathan Waniger in lane 3 from Paddock. And as we expected, it'll be Harney and Roby on each side challenging him. A good turn by Waniger, and that's just the way it's going to finish. Waniger's right there in lane 3, and in lanes 2 and 4, Chris Harney and Nick Roby. But I don't think either one can catch Nathan Waniger, the apparent winner, unofficial winner of the boys 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old butterfly. That was event number 50 in the 28th annual Owensboro Summer Club Championships, coming your way on Century TV 2 from the Owensboro Country Club swimming pool. Event number 51 is the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. And in this race will be in lane 1, Sarah Howard of Splash. In lane 2, Rocky Hatton of Splash. In lane 3, Katie Malone of Splash. Lane 4, Lindsey Green of Paddock. Lane 5, Lindsay Abel of Dornick. Lane 6, Amy Smith of Splash. The best time in the trials was 111.53 by Katie Malone of Splash. The city meet record is 105.85 by Jen Hargan of Splash in 1990. The defending champion is Brooke Berry of the Owensboro Country Club, a time of 112.89 a year ago. So in lane 3, Katie Malone with the best time of yesterday, 111.53. She'll be the one to beat in lane 3. She's had about 2 seconds faster than in lane 4, Lindsey Green of Paddock. The girls are ready. This is the 100-yard. This will be 4 laps. 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. Can they go all out for all 4 laps, Jamie? Or do they conserve it a little bit?
Well, I'm not sure much about. I know Katie. She trains with me on the racers with me, and we do. She can swim a 200 fly pretty well too. So she's got the endurance to swim it. So she should come home pretty strong.
So it is just even though it's 100, it's a sprint,
it's
just
a sprint,
as if you're going 25 or 50.
From the beginning.
So they turn it on, and let's see, we've reached the halfway point.
You might maybe save a little bit. Well, not in butterfly, but in some of the other hundreds, you might save your legs a little bit, and then out in the second half of the race.
Strong effort here by Katie Malone of Splash as she makes the turn for the final 25 yards. Her closest contender in lane 2 is Rocky Hatton of Splash, a teammate from Splash. So Splash could finish 1-2 here in the girls' 100-yard butterfly. 13 and 14-year-old girls making an effort here in lane 1 is Sarah Howard of Splash. So Splash is going to rack up some points here. In the girls' 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old butterfly, the apparent winner, Katie Malone of Splash. In the girls' 100, 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. Event number 52 will be the boys' 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. In lane 1 will be Nicholas Waniger of Paddock. In lane 2, John Hayden of Splash. Lane 3, Ryan Masenic of Splash. Lane 4, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 5, Joseph Boswell of Splash. And in lane 6, Aaron Aud of Dornick. The best time in the trials was 1 minute, 0.11 seconds. 1 minute, 0.11 seconds. That was by Ryan Masenic of Splash. The meet record, not
I'd say Ryan has a good shot
to
to break this. He's been swimming butterfly really well lately at the long course meet, so I imagine, you get in the shorter pool and
it could do it. Ryan Masenic is the defending champion. He had a 106.71 last year. He certainly improved on that in the trials yesterday with a 1 minute, 0.11. The meet record is 59.6 by Brian Keller of Dornick back in 1987. So Ryan Masenica Splash will be out for his second straight win in the boys 113, 14-year-old butterfly. He is the defending champion, and he's going to be shooting for Brian Keller's record, and Jamie's going to try to get the clock on him here as we're set to go with the boys 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. They're in the water, and here they come. This will be 4 laps. And boy, they're hard at it. And he will be pressed right there in lane 3, and right next to him in 4 is Trent Thomas of Paddock, really challenging Ryan Masenik on the first turn. Ryan's out in front, but Trent Thomas is right there, and the water's splashing up here a bit on us.
Feels good.
It does, as that sun sets, and we're under a tent, and we're not going to have much use of that tent in a few moments as the sun goes down. We're at the halfway point. Ryan Masenica Splash opening up a slight lead, but the ever so slight lead over Trent Thomas of Paddock. And it's going to be Masenik and Thomas going down for the final 25 yards. Here's the final turn by Ryan Masenik as he attempts to maybe set a record here in the boys 100-yard butterfly. Boys 13 and 14-year-old. He's really opened up a lead now over Trent Thomas, and it's going to be Ryan Masenik again with a victory in the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. He was the defending champion, and it appears he's come back to defend that title successfully. How close was he?
I got him at 59.99. So
okay, and it was 59.6, so we'll have to
he
wait,
might have gotten that
and
one.
we'll check the time in on event number 52 when we get those official results. The apparent winner of the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old butterfly, Ryan Masenik of Splash, in at least near record time. The event number 53 is the girls 100-yard high school butterfly. The 100-yard high school butterfly for girls in lane 1 will be Tanya Miller of Darnick. In lane 2, Ashley Reynolds of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Chrissy Geyer of Paddock. Lane 4, Sarah Laux of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 5, Leanne Presser of Darnick. Lane 6, Nicole Vessels of Darnick. The best time in the trials was by Chrissy Geyer of Paddock, a 111.85. But right by her, and she'll be flanked by these two swimmers. In lane 4, Sarah Laux, Owensboro Country Club, a 112.14. And in lane 2, Ashley Reynolds of Owensboro Country Club, a 112.32. So it could be a...
This should be a really good race. Sarah Laux is an excellent butterflyer, and I was talking to Chrissy earlier, and she's not usually known for a butterfly, but she said she's really pleased with it yesterday and swam well. So I don't know if you're swimming it well.
Comments from Jamie Mueller, who happens to hold the city meet record for this event, set in 1990, 103.09. This is a 100-yard high school butterfly. Lisa Kelly of Atlantis won this event a year ago. And it looks like in lane 5, Leanne Presser is going to have the lead at the halfway point. Leanne Presser of Darnick.
Gosh, I didn't see
Leanne a surprise.
She is an excellent butterflyer also.
So Leanne Presser, as they make the turn at the halfway point, has the lead out in lane 5. And she has a pretty impressive lead. Leanne Presser, a strong, strong effort as she has 25 yards to go. And it looks like it's going to be very difficult to catch her, Jamie. She just got that lead early.
Yeah, sometimes that's what you have to do. Just go out after it, and if you die, then you die.
And she's not going to. She's in lane 5, and the closest competitors are in lanes 2 and 3, Ashley Reynolds and Chrissy Geyer. But it's going to be in lane 5, the apparent winner, Leanne Darnick, a strong effort by Leanne Presser of Darnick. Leanne Presser, the apparent winner of the girls' high school butterfly, 100-yard butterfly. A strong effort by Leanne Presser, and that's one of the great things about this sport. You can't look at those times from the trials and say, here's going to be the winner. And of course, maybe, 80% of the time that's going to happen, but it doesn't always happen. And in this case, it certainly didn't. Leanne's best her time yesterday in the trials was about 3 seconds off from Chrissy Geyer's. But Leanne reached down and got that something extra today and wins the girls' high school 100-yard butterfly. Next up, event number 54 is the boys' 100-yard high school butterfly. In lane 1 is Chad Masenik of Darnick. In lane 2 is Matt Shrewsbury. Lane 3, Brad Morris of Darnick. Lane 4, Josh Vanor of Darnick. In lane 5, Stephen Delaney of Paddock. Lane 6, Matt Grohl of Atlantis. What can you tell us about these competitors, Jamie?
Brad's he's seated first by 4 seconds, so he should probably take away. But and see, Josh Vanover's also strong. I expect he probably will take it out pretty fast. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. This should be a pretty good race.
Brad Morris had a 58.63, by far the best time in the trials yesterday. The meet record is 54.17 by Jay Eckelberry of Darnick. Brad Morris is the defending champion, and he's out to the early lead, but not by much, as he's flanked by Matt Shrewsbury and Josh Vanover. This is the high school boys 100-yard butterfly, and on the turn, still out in front, is Brad Morris. Brad Morris is the defending champion, trying to make it 2 in a row in this event. High school butterfly. Boys 100-yard high school butterfly, the 54th event in the Owensboro City Swim Meet. We come down to the final turn, and it's been Brad Morris all the way, and he just steadily pulls away. He has a fairly comfortable lead over Josh Vanover, his teammate from Darnick. And out here in lane 2, Matt Shrewsbury of Splash. And heading home for victory will be Brad Morris of Darnick, and it'll be back-to-back wins for Brad Morris in the boys 100-yard high school butterfly. He is the defending champion, and as you watch him come in the winner, the victor here in the boys high school 100-yard butterfly, Brad Morris of Darnick. You're watching the 1993 Owensboro Summer Club Championships on Century TV2, and we'll be back after this.
Dairy Queen does it again. Another Dairy Queen Brazier comes to Owensboro. Open now at the entrance to Town Square Mall. Get set to celebrate all weekend long, July 23rd through 25th. A prize-packed food and fun-filled extravaganza for the whole family. Clowns and contests for the kids. Plenty of hot eats and cool treats. Grand opening giveaways and more. July 23rd through 25th at the brand new Dairy Queen, South Frederica at the entrance to Town Square Mall. They treat you right at Dairy Queen.
You know who offers the most adorable and exquisite children's clothing? Sugar Babies. And now Sugar Babies introduces a brand new fashion statement, Jats, a special collection for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Sugar Babies now carry sizes up through juniors, including sizes 7 through 14 junior and preteen blazers. The Jats collection, now at Sugar Babies, specializing in preteen sizes and now presenting Jats for juniors, adolescents, and teens. Your choice for style with a difference is Sugar Babies in the Old Town Square Shopping Center.
Take the plunge with Discovery Shark Safari Sweepstakes. Grand prize, a trip for 2 to Shark Junction in the Grand Bahama Islands, and a once-in-a-lifetime chance to swim among sharks. 50 first prize winners will also receive Discovery Shark Week 93 t-shirts. Look for this display for your chance to win an adventure in paradise with Discovery Shark Safari Sweepstakes.
Back at the Owensboro Country Club pool, Jerry Burge along with Jamie Mueller. Event number 55 is the girls 100-yard 7- and 8-year-old medley relay. In lane number 1 will be Atlantis, and lane 2 Darnick, lane 3 Owensboro Country Club, lane 4 Splash, lane 5 Paddock, lane 6 the YMCA Town and Country. The best reported time by Owensboro Country Club in lane 3, 1:30.63. And here they come in the first leg. What order do they go here with the strokes?
It's backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and then freestyle on the last lap.
So if you have an outstanding, a particular, a real outstanding individual in one particular event, it can really balance things out in a relay. So now we're into the second leg. Let me write those down now, okay? You start out with the backstroke. Then you follow that with?
Breaststroke.
With the breaststroke.
And butterfly.
And then the fly.
And then freestyle.
And then the freestyle. So they're into the breaststroke competition, the second leg of this medley relay. The 100 yards. This is the girls, 7- and 8-year-old. And here they come. Now, the real little tots don't do this, right?
No, the 6 and under swim the 25 backstroke and 25 freestyle.
So they don't get into all this other event. So
a lot of times, though, they'll have them swim up on 7-8 relays. So I imagine a good portion of these are tot swimmers.
But they're up competing among the 7- and 8-year-olds.
So they can swim relays.
We're into the freestyle, and it appears Owensboro Country Club will romp home the winner. Owensboro's girls winning the 100-yard 7- and 8-year-old medley relay. Event number 56 will be the boys 100-yard medley relay, and we'll run down the field for that in a moment as we watch the girls finish here in the medley relay. We're going to have a moment to give you some official results from earlier races. Event number 9, the girls 100-yard high school free relay. The winning team was Owensboro Country Club with Sarah Laux, Ashley Reynolds, Barry Brook, and Carly Condiff, a time of 5.95. and 50.95, just off the record. They just missed the city meet record. Event number 10 is the boys 100-yard high school free relay. The official winner was Darnick with Ryan Adams, Chad Masenik, Josh Vanover, and Brad Morris, a time of 45.23, again fairly close to the record. Event number 11 was the girls 25-yard 6 and under freestyle. The winner in that event was Jessica Berry of Splash with a time of 20.51. The winner of the girls 25-yard 6 and under freestyle was Jessica Berry. In case you just joined us, we're catching up with some official results as they've been handed to us from some of the earlier races. You just watched the girls 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay, and we'll be ready to go now with the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. In lane 1 will be Atlantis, lane 2 Darnick, lane 3 Splash, lane 4 Owensboro Country Club, lane 5 Paddock. The best time reported 139.35 by Splash in lane 3. The city meet record is 120.34 by Town and Country in 1977. That appears safe. Splash did win this event a year ago. As we watch them get ready for the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay, we'll catch you up with some of the other official results from earlier in today's meet. Event 12 was the boys 25-yard 6 and under freestyle. Talmadge Hawker, Owensboro Country Club, was the winner with a time of 21.94. Event number 13 was the girls 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. The winner was Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club, a time of 16.16. In event 14 was the boys 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. The winner was Zach Sparks of Splash with a time of 16.49. He actually had a time of 16.43 in the trials the day before, which was his better time. In event number 15, the girls 50-yard 9 and 10 freestyle. The winner was Tracy Keller of Splash with a time of 32.15. And event 16, the boys 50-yard 9 and 10 freestyle, was won by Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 30.04. Back to the action that's going on right now. This is the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. They're into the breaststroke now, and the team to beat is Splash. They had a time of 139.35, and in lane 3, Splash is there, but right with them in lane 4 is Owensboro Country Club. So it is rather tight right now. And they come into the third leg. This is the butterfly. And in lane 3, that is Splash, holding on to the lead. And making the final turn, going into the freestyle. Splash will have the advantage as they head down to the final 25 yards. The closest challenger is in lane 4, and that is Owensboro Country Club in lane 4. And he's making quite a move in lane 4.
Definitely.
And it looks like Owensboro Country Club's going to come back with a strong finish. And with a come from behind to win, an apparent victory for Owensboro Country Club here in event number 56, the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. Boy, that's a thrill when you're that far behind and your anchor comes through for you.
Relays are great.
So
such excitement.
So that relay evidently won by the Owensboro Country Club, the host team in this year's Owensboro City Swim Meet. We'll move ahead quickly to event 57. This is the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. In lane 1 will be Atlantis, lane 2 Paddock, lane 3 Splash, lane 4 Owensboro Country Club, lane 5 Darnick, and lane 6 YMCA Town and Country. The best time reported by Splash, 113.27. The meet record is 105.70, set by Darnick in 1986. Last year, Splash won it. Splash trying to make it 2 in a row in the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. Let's look back again from some of the earlier competition here today in the Owensboro City Swim Meet. In event number 17, the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. Tammy Price, the official winner, in 27.86. She did have a time of 27.29 in the trials. Tammy Price, the winner of the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. In event number 18, it's the boys 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. The winner was Nathan Waniger of Paddock with a time of 29.26. That's the official results. The official winner of the boys 50-yard freestyle for boys 11 and 12 years old. In event number 19, the girls 50-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. The winner was Katie Malone of Splash with a time of 28.39. in the trials, but her time here today was 27.33. Katie Malone, the winner of the girls 50-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. The boys 50-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. The unofficial winner, or the official winner rather, Ryan Masenica Splash with a time of 24.56. Now the action is underway for the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. We're into the second leg, the breaststroke competition. The one to watch here is Splash in lane 3, and this time Splash is out in front. In lane 2, the closest challenger is Paddock, but Splash is heading to the halfway mark of the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay with the advantage. But of course they had that lead in the last race. The girls had that lead, but lost it, or no, the boys had it in the last race. Splash had it, but Owensboro Country Club came from behind to beat the boys in the last medley relay. But this time it's a good lead as we come up with a butterfly with Splash opening up the advantage. Let's see, no, these are the girls, aren't they? Yeah, okay. These are the girls. This is Splash in lane 3. Splash with the advantage. And the Splash girls are going to come home the winner by a very impressive margin. Splash girls win they win the 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. The Splash girls are victorious. And as the others finish, we're going to look back on some of the earlier results. We do have the official results on now. In event number 21, the girls 50-yard high school freestyle, Leanne Presser of Darnick was the winner, officially a time of 26.83. Event number 22, the boys 50-yard high school freestyle, the winner was Brad Morris of Darnick, a time of 23.06. Event number 23 was the girls 25-yard 6 and under backstroke. The official winner was Jessica Berry of Splash, a time of 27.64. She actually had a better time in the trials with a 26.46. Event number 24 was the boys 25-yard 6 and under backstroke. Matthew Kecke of Darnick, the winner, in 25.52. He challenged the record, but the record still stands, 24.13. Zach Sparks of Splash. Event number 25 is the girls 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old backstroke. The winner was Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club, a time of 19.79. In the boys 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old backstroke, the official winner was Zach Sparks of Splash with a time of 19.43. And we're about set to go now with the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. It's Atlantis in lane 1, Paddock in lane 2, Splash in lane 3, Darnick in lane 4, Owensboro Country Club in lane 5. In lane 3, Splash has the quick time reported, 1:18.59, and Splash goes out to the early lead in lane 3. This is the backstroke of the 100-yard medley relay, event number 58, the boys 100-yard medley relay for boys 9 and 10 years old. And the first leg has been completed. Here comes the breaststroke. And as they come up right at it in lane 3, the leader is Splash. In lane 2, running second right now is Paddock. We reach the halfway mark of the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. In lane 3, as we come up with the butterfly, and boy, this is opening up a big lead. A strong effort in the butterfly by Splash in this medley relay, and here we'll come down for the freestyle for the finish. And I don't think there's going to be any contest here at all, as Splash is going to run. Very, very impressive win. Easy win for Splash as the Splash boys win the 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old relay competition. Splash, a winner, and it appears Splash is indeed headed for a repeat victory in the Owensboro City Swim Meet. As we watch the winners celebrate and watch some of the others finish, let's recap some of the earlier competition. We do have official results for. In event number 27, the girls 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old backstroke. The official winner was Christine Coy of Paddock with a time of 38.02. In the boys 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old backstroke, the official winner was Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 36.65. Kyle had a 35.57 in the trials. For the meet record, he does set a city meet record, right? He had it in the trials, 35.57. The old record was 35.64.
Oh, he did get it then.
So he got the record in the trials with a 35.57. He was 36.65 here this afternoon in the finals. In the girls 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old backstroke, The winner was Tammy Price of Splash with a time of 33.1. 33.1 for Tammy Price of Splash. In the boys 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old backstroke, the official winner was Nathan Waniger of Paddock with a time of 36.69. Nathan Waniger, the winner of the boys 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old backstroke. Okay, we're ready to go now. Where are we at? This is the girls.
11-12 girls medley relay.
The girls 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. In lane 1 is Atlantis, lane 2 Darnick, lane 3 Splash, lane 4 Paddock, lane 5 Owensboro Country Club. The best reported time in lane 3 Splash with a 108.41, about 3 seconds quicker than the Paddock team in lane 4 with a 111.09. This is the medley relay, 11 and 12-year-old girls going 100 yards. It'll be 4 laps. This is event number 59 of a scheduled 86 events in the city swim meet. As the sun begins to go down, and we hope things will cool off a little bit here in the later afternoon and early evening as we wrap things up at the Owensboro Country Club. They're in the water ready to go with the first leg, the backstroke competition in the medley relay. These are 11 and 12-year-old girls going 100 yards, each 25 yards in each leg.
For the girls, 6th place,
and as they come by in lane 1 with the lead is Paddock, or in lane 1 is Atlantis. And Atlantis does have the advantage, and the others are all bunched up together there in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, but Atlantis has the early lead. They didn't have a reported time going into the meet. But
see, a lot of times different people swim on the relays, and that's why the times they're entered at are a little bit off. You know, an outside lane might be, you know, beating like lane 3 or something. But
Atlantis is holding on in lane 1, but moving up quickly in lane 3 is Splash as we get into the freestyle. This is the final 25, and we're going to have a dash to the finish. Splash in 3, Atlantis in 1. Atlantis has the lead. Can they hold on? We'll wait and see. It's going to be between Atlantis and Splash. And as they hit the wire, wow, I think it was Atlantis. Atlantis in lane 3, the apparent winner, the unofficial winner of the girls 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. Moving ahead will be the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12 medley relay. In lane 2 will be Paddock. In lane 3, Owensboro Country Club. In lane 4, Splash. And in lane 5, Atlantis. Only 4 entries in the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. The city record in this event is 101.72 by Dornick in 1983. Last year, Owensboro Country Club won with a time of 106.3. The best time reported among these 4 competitors, Owensboro Country Club, 113 flat, a couple of seconds quicker than Splash's time of 115.2. Again, going back, catching up with some of the official results handed to us. Event number 31 was the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old backstroke. The official winner was Katie Malone of Splash with a time of 105.04. And talk about a record. She shattered the record. 105.04, the old record. She held it herself, was 108.32. So a tip of the hat and congratulations, Orchids, to Katie Malone of Splash. With a record
that's
time.
Her best time by about 3 seconds also, if I'm not mistaken.
That's great. Girls 100-yard backstroke winner. We have a big meet record. We're into the boys 100-yard, the 11 and 12-year-old medley. And in lane 4 with the early lead, that would be Splash. Splash with the advantage, but out there in lane 5 is Atlantis challenging as we reach the halfway mark. We'll be coming down with the butterfly as they make the exchange, and that was a quick one out there for Owens. I think that was Atlantis into the water first in lane 5, and it is, but up quickly in lane 4 is Splash. So Splash has the advantage as we head down to the final 25 yards. He touches in the water, way ahead of the others. In lane 4 is Splash, and it looks like Splash, boy, that was a big difference on that exchange. They were so close coming down to that final
exchange. It's amazing. Just, you can't really tell until they, you know, dive in and start swimming again.
And Splash, the apparent winner of the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. Evidently what happens sometimes, they lunge forward and they're not there yet. Yeah. They're not there, and they have to wait until they get there, and that slows them down a few seconds. So Splash splashes the victory in the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old medley relay competition.
You kind of have to learn to anticipate it and follow them in with your hands and know about what speed they're going and judge it. So you can go ahead, because you're allowed to go ahead and start moving. You don't have to wait until they touch the wall.
Can someone give you a verbal start if you're not looking? You can't say go. You can't have somebody sitting over there yelling go.
I guess you could. I don't know. It's probably easier for you to judge it yourself.
Look down and
though.
see and then go. Okay. Dumb question. Good answer. We're moving ahead to event number 61, the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. They're into the water, ready to go. In lane 1 is Atlantis. Lane 2, Paddock. Lane 3, Darnick. Lane 4, Splash. Lane 5, Owensboro Country Club. And boy, look at this difference. The best reported time by Darnick in lane 3, 55.8. Closest to him, 103.49 by Splash in 4. The city meet record is 58.69 by Darnick in 1986. Owensboro Country Club is the defending champion. And in the early going, lane 1, it's Atlantis with the early lead. Atlantis into the second leg. If they still got it as they come up, and they certainly do. Atlantis with the advantage in the early going. And out there in 4, running in second place is Darnick, and 5 is Owensboro Country Club. So Splash, if they're going to come back here, will have to come from behind. Or let's see, in 1 is in 4, Splash is in lane 4, and they're certainly moving up now, and Splash has taken the lead. Atlantis and Splash running 1, 2. Boy, it's real close. Atlantis in 1, Splash in 4. And Splash on the final 25 has the advantage in lane 4. Atlantis trying to come back, but I don't believe they will. And it looks like Splash is going to be the unofficial winner of the girls 100-yard 13 and 14 medley relay. And again, we have to repeat, this is unofficial when we tell you who won this thing.
Especially on these relays, you can have a false start, and the team that won
is disqualified
maybe had the
or
fastest time, but they could have been disqualified. So you kind of have to wait till you get the results.
100-yard medley relay.
So now event number 62 will be the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. The field includes in lane 1 Atlantis, lane 2 Paddock, lane 3 Splash, lane 4 Darnick, and lane 5 the Owensboro Country Club. Best time reported by Splash, 59.02, but look at this, 59.51 for Paddock, 59.14 for Darnick. So this could be another tight one. The city meet record.
Plus you have to watch Atlantis because all of their relays are entered at no time.
Right.
So don't know what to expect with them.
And they've been doing pretty well. Maybe they wanted to get number 1 lane. I don't know if they're all right here in front of us.
Outside smoke, I guess.
So Atlantis in 1, Paddock in 2, Splash in 3, Darnick in 4, Owensboro Country Club in 5. This is the backstroke competition of the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old medley relay, and it is in lane 4. Darnick, the early leader. And the first exchange, and a good exchange for Darnick, as they may open up the lead on this second leg in the breaststroke competition. This is the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. We're reaching the halfway point as we get ready for the butterfly and the freestyle. They're in the water for the fly, and in lane 4. And oh, this is lane 3. Splash took the lead on that exchange, a major difference. And they're going into the freestyle. That's Splash. And here they go. They got the freestyle, and it's going to be Splash with a very, I'll tell you what, I blinked. And all of a sudden, Splash had the lead. Not only had the lead, they had the big lead, and they romp home an impressive
on these short 100 relays, they're over like that. One little mistake. And
that's what happened, and Splash took advantage, and Splash has romped home the winner of the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. We're moving on. We have 2 more medley relays in the competition in the Owensboro City Swim Meet. This is the high school competition. The girls 200 yards. So each one of them goes 50 then. They each go 50 yards. And this will be the girls 200-yard high school medley relay. In lane 1 will be Atlantis, lane 2 Paddock, lane 3 Darnick, lane 4 Owensboro Country Club, lane 5 Splash, and lane 6 the YMCA Town and Country. The best reported time by Darnick in lane 3, 206.5. And look at this, the meet record is 206.07.
Could see a record here.
Set last year by Atlantis. So Atlantis is the defending champion, and Atlantis, again, no time reported, and they're in lane 1. But they had the winning team last year, and they set the record with 206.7. And Darnick this year has gone 206.5. Which would be a new record if they could match that here. But, of course, Atlantis is going to be a contender, and this is going to be a very interesting race. The girls' 200-yard high school medley relay. They're in the water for the first leg. It'll be 50 yards backstroke competition. And Jamie, we do not have the names of these individuals. When you do catch some of these individuals in a particular stroke that I'm sure you're familiar with, you might call out who that individual is. And the leader in lane 2,
that's Chrissy Geyer.
For Paddock, they take the lead.
Lane 3 right next to her is Mandy Keller.
Oh boy, this is going to be too close to call. And this is the first leg, the 50 yards backstroke, the girls 200-yard high school medley relay. We're ready to go now with the breaststroke. And who is the top breaststroke competitor, would you say, in the girls competition? We'll find out here real quick.
Nicole Vessels and...
That's Splash in lane 5.
That is in lane 2.
And moving up quickly in lane 3 is Darnick. Darnick gaining ground in lane 3. Darnick may take the lead here on the second leg of the medley relay. They do. It's Darnick in lane 3 taking the advantage. And we'll get... And now, let's see, we're going to go going into the butterfly. This will be the butterfly, the third leg. Darnick, thanks to the breaststroke competition, has taken the lead, and now in the butterfly.
That's Leanne Presser, who won the 100 fly earlier.
And she's going to go another 50 in the butterfly right now, and she indeed is opening up a lead for Darnick. And Darnick is going to be in pretty good position when they get down to the freestyle. A big advantage here.
Yeah, Darnick's very strong in the high school girls and the older 13, 14 years.
And here's the freestyle and bringing the colors home in the freestyle.
Tanya Miller, I think.
And here we go. This is the final 50 yards of the girls' 200-yard high school medley relay. 25 yards to go, and Darnick's going to come home the winner. The Darnick High School girls to prevail in the 200-yard high school medley relay. The boys are coming up in a moment. Right now, we watch the girls finish. It's Darnick winning the girls' 200-yard high school medley relay.
In record time there. They went at 2:03.8 is what I had.
Wow, and it was 2:06.5, their best reported time. They may have come up with their best to break the city record of 2:06.07 of Atlantis. Of course, that's all unofficial, but I'd say we're safe to say Darnick girls won the 200-yard high school medley relay. Event number 64 is the boys' 200-yard high school medley relay. In lane 1 will be Atlantis. In lane 2, Paddock. In lane 3, Owensboro Country Club. In lane 4, Darnick. And in lane 5, Splash. The best reported time. And look at the difference here, kiddo. 1:11.87 for Owensboro Country Club.
I think that's a typo.
That has to be. Oh, yes, because look at the meet record is 1:50.
Yeah, that's supposed to be 2:11.
That'd be, no, that would be the best time in lane 3. So let's be real nice and call that 1:51. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that the best reported time, 1:51.
And that'd be close to the record.
That'd be close to the record, okay.
All right, that sounds good.
We'll do that. We'll just make that. That's unofficial, of course. That's just our figuring. They did have a time of 1:11.87, and I looked, and that's about a minute quicker. Wait a minute, that'd be a world record, wouldn't it?
World record here at the Owensboro City Swim Championship.
That'd be a universe record. That's something than that. Owensboro Country Club with the time to beat, and here they are. They're in the water. This is the boys' 200-yard high school medley relay. This is the backstroke competition. Atlantis running strong in lane 1 in the backstroke, and over in lane 5, just battling for the lead is Splash in 5 and Atlantis in 1 as we complete the first 50 yards, the backstroke competition in the high school boys 200-yard medley relay. Ready with the breaststroke, and they were close in Splash in 5 on the far outside, and on the near side Atlantis in 1. And again, it's Splash opening up a lead, and Atlantis has dropped back, but coming up strong in lane 4 is Darnick. And Darnick making a strong move in 4, trying to challenge Splash. So it's Splash in 5 and Darnick, and it looks like Darnick's taking the lead. And who's doing it there
That's
for him?
Brad Morris.
Brad Morris.
He won the 100 breaststroke.
Okay,
earlier.
so Morris makes a strong effort for Darnick and gives him the lead heading into the butterfly competition. And in lane 4,
Josh Vanover.
Is Josh Vanover in 4. That's for Darnick. In lane 5 is Splash. And boy, it's going to come.
Shrewsbury,
and that's going to come right down to the freestyle competition, as it usually does. And boy, they are flat pouring it on in lanes 4 and 5. Darnick and Splash battling it out. Darnick will have the lead as they go into the water for the final 50 yards for the freestyle competition. In lane 4 is Darnick. On the outside in lane 5 is Splash. Darnick holds on to the lead, but Splash gaining a little bit of ground. Here's the turn, the final 25 yards. And they are going to battle to the wire. Look out. Darnick's going to hold on, I believe. It's going to be close.
You can't see.
I think it was Darnick, but we're not sure. Unofficially, Darnick boys win the 200-yard.
Everybody gets excited and gets down there in the way. You can't
high school boys medley relay. The apparent winner, Darnick. As we've reached the event number 65 that'll be coming up, the girls 50-yard freestyle. You're watching the Owensboro City Swim Meet on Century TV2, and we'll be back after this.
First stop for vacation driving peace of mind, the Tire Mart. Over 40 years of quality automotive service assures you the kind of car care you can depend on. Need new tires before you go? Ask about a set of Michelins. You've got a lot riding on those tires. Don't settle for anything less. And the Tire Mart guarantees the lowest Michelin tire prices around. Michelin and Tire Mart. Two names to depend on for driving peace of mind.
Dairy Queen does it again. Another Dairy Queen Brazier comes to Owensboro. Open now at the entrance to Town Square Mall. Get set to celebrate all weekend long, July 23rd through 25th. A prize-packed food and fun-filled extravaganza for the whole family. Clowns and contests for the kids. Plenty of hot eats and cool treats. Grand opening giveaways and more. July 23rd through 25th at the brand new Dairy Queen, South Frederica at the entrance to Town Square Mall. They treat you right at Dairy Queen.
Champion Mazda of Owensboro invites you to win a brand new 1993 Mazda 323 in the 96 STO Cash Card Giveaway. Just tune your radio to 96 STO for daily locations where you can sign up to win. You could win $96 cash, 96 STO's Tim Michelson's own car, or the grand prize, a brand new 93 Mazda 323 from Champion Mazda of Owensboro. Listen to win big in 96 STO's Cash Card Giveaway from Champion Mazda and 96 STO.
As we said before, we can't hardly blink, and the action continues, and it does right now. Event number 56, the girls 50-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle. Audrey Cotton, Owensboro Country Club in 1, Savannah Perry of Darnick in 2, Brittany Hocker of Owensboro Country Club in 3, Rachel Griffin, YMCA in 4, Caroline Kirk, Owensboro Country Club in 5, Rachel Howard of Splash in 6, and we look out in lane 3, Brittany Hocker, who had the best time yesterday by far, 37.66, and Brittany Hocker is going to romp home winner for the Owensboro Country Club in the 50-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle.
59 and 70, 11 and 12-year-old boys and girls freestyle. This is the second call for event 7.
And the apparent winner is Brittany Hocker, Owensboro Country Club, and we'll have the official results, of course, later in our telecast, and we've been catching up with all the official results of the earlier events. But very quickly, we'll move along now for the 50-yard freestyle for boys 7 and 8 years old. In lane 1 is Brett Russell of Splash. In lane 2, John Miles of Atlantis. Lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash. Lane 4, Daniel Eggers of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 5, John Janiak of Splash. And lane 6, Ben Ambrose of Atlantis. The best time in the trials, 37.101 by Zach Sparks of Splash. The city meet record is 34.52. By D. Zorg. Doug Zorg of Paddock in 1985. The 1992 champion was Zach Sparks of Splash, trying to make it 2 in a row in the boys 50-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle. Ready to go with Russell, Miles, Sparks, Eggers, Janiak, and Ambrose. And they're off and going in the 50 free for boys 7 and 8 years old. We'll watch Zach Sparks as he tries to make it back-to-back victories. And he has jumped out quickly. And he's right along the rope there.
Boys and girls, a 100-yard freestyle. First call,
makes the turn. And I don't think anybody's going to catch Zach.
No.
Zach Sparks.
Taken off with it.
He is the defending champion. And he's going to come home winner of the boys 50-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle competition, event number 66 in the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet. And we'll move on to event number 67, the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 will be Neely Thomas of Paddock. In lane 2, Christine Coy of Paddock. Lane 3, Amber Smith of Splash. Lane 4, Tracy Keller of Splash. Lane 5, Jacqueline Berry of Splash. And lane 6, Misty Knoll of Splash. So it's a Splash versus Paddock matchup here in the
one-on-one action.
The championship final of the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. 2 swimmers from Paddock, 4 from Splash in the finals. As we await the start of this race, let's catch up with some early official results. In event 32, the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old backstroke. The official winner was Ryan Masenik of Splash with a time of 102.64. Ryan Masenik, the winner in the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old backstroke. In the girls 100-yard high school backstroke, the winner was Chrissy Geyer of Paddock with a time of 107.93. And the official results in event 34, the boys 100-yard high school backstroke, the winner was Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis with a time of 103.41. This is the girls 100-yard 9 and 10 freestyle, and we're watching in lane 3. Oh, here in lane 2 out in front is Christine Coy of Paddock. Christine Coy may be headed for victory in lane 2, and out there in lane 5, or in lane 4, Tracy Keller, but it looks, ooh, here they make the turn, and this is 100 yards. They're at the halfway mark. Christine Coy. And now in lane 3, moving up is Amber Smith, but we see the leader is in lane 4. That's Tracy Keller of Splash. Tracy Keller of Splash in 4, and right next to her in lane 3 is Amber Smith. And boy, this is going to be tight to the end. Final 25 yards. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Yeah, those all these girls, some racers. It's kind of interesting. The longer freestyles, it seems they do better on.
It's 3 and 4. Amber Smith and Tracy Keller battling it out as they go to the finish. And boy, I'm not going to call that one. It's either between Amber Smith and Tracy Keller of Splash as they have a tight finish to the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. And I'll tell you what, Jamie, something we didn't bargain for, where we're located on the east side of the pool. Now that the sun is setting, now the sun is also glaring off the water. So it's going to be very difficult for us to follow the action looking down into the water because of the reflection in the pool.
Oh, gosh.
And you'll have to bear with us. Of course, we will bring you the official results and do as well as we can as we visually watch the finish. It is heating up. It's getting a little warm. Event number 68 is the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Tim Brandon of Paddock. In lane 2, Tim Lamont of Darnick. In lane 3, Kyle Roby of Splash. In lane 4, Joe Miles of Atlantis. In lane 5, Jake Sparks of Splash. And in lane 6, John Carroll of Darnick. The best time in the trials was 109.18 by Kyle Roby of Splash. Kyle is the defending champion. He won last year with a 113.97. Ryan Masenik of Darnick holds the meet record, a 103.7 set in 1989. This is the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle. Kyle Roby of Splash, the guy to beat. And boy, his time's about 3 seconds quicker than his closest challenger, Joe Miles, in 4. And that's who we'll watch to try to challenge Kyle Roby as he tries to make it 2 in a row in this event for himself. He won last year. On the turn, here he goes. He opens up a pretty good advantage as he nears the halfway mark. That's Kyle Roby. And as expected in lane 4, his closest challenger is Joe Miles of Atlantis. But it may be too much for Miles to overcome as Roby turning in another solid performance here in the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle.
This is the final call for event 73.
And as they approach the final turn,
100-yard freestyle. And the final
completing 75 yards, this is Kyle Roby of Splash, all alone out in front as he makes the turn. And you can see the reflection there in the water from the sun as the sun sets in the west.
Right
And here he goes. And it's going to be Kyle Roby with another victory for Splash. As expected, Splash is certainly dominating the action in the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet. He'll finish first, and in second place will be Joe Miles of Atlantis. That one's history, event 68, the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old freestyle.
78-year-old.
Catching up with some of the earlier events, official results. Girls 25 yards, 7 and 8-year-old breaststroke. The winner officially was Audrey Cotton of Owensboro Country Club with a time of 22.62. Event number 36 was the boys 25 yards, 7 and 8-year-old breaststroke. The official winner was Zach Sparks of Splash with a time of 21.61. His time of 21.38 in the trials was his best time in this year's meet. In event 37, the girls 50-yard 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke. The official winner was Christine Coy of Paddock with a time of 43.41. Her time in the trials was her best effort of this year's meet with a 42.83. And in the boys 50 yards, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke, the official winner was Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 40.81. Kyle Roby, the official winner of the boys 50-yard, 9 and 10-year-old breaststroke. In the girls 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old breaststroke, the official winner was Tori Duvall of Atlantis with a time of 38.82. In the boys 50-yard, 11 and 12-year-old, let's see, was that the breaststroke? The breaststroke, the winner was Nathan Weiniger of Paddock with a time of 39.95. We're ready to go now with the girls 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Kelly Schmiel of Atlantis. Lane 2, Kelly Kern of Darnick. Lane 3, Tammy Price of Splash. Lane 4, Jessica Poole of Paddock. Lane 5, Amanda Lee of Splash. Lane 6, Amber Begg of Darnick. The best time in the trials, very close. Tammy Price of Splash in lane 3 with a 106.21. Jessica Poole of Paddock, a 106.59. And they're right there together. Let's see the lead right now in lane 3. That is Tammy Price of Splash as she reaches the halfway mark of this 100-yard freestyle for girls 11 and 12 years old.
Eric Robertson, you are needed at the computer table.
Make the turn, and here they come as they approach the final turn. And out in front is Tammy Price of Splash, and her closest challenger is Jessica Poole of Paddock. And on the other side
Kelly Kern.
is Kelly Kern in lane 2. Good turn, and that's the way they're going to come to the finish, and it's going to be Tammy Price of Splash. Tammy Price of Splash, the apparent winner of the girls 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. That was event number 69, and we'll move ahead to event number 70, the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. This is the boys 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. And in lane 1 is Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 2, Joe Younger of Atlantis. And lane 3, Nathan Weiniger of Paddock. Lane 4, Nick Roby of Splash. Lane 5, Josh Murphy of Splash. And lane 6, Griffin of YMCA Town and Country. And we had a couple of close ones here in the trials yesterday. Nathan Weiniger of Paddock, a 110 flat. Nick Roby of Splash, a 110.58. The meet record is 57.89, set in 1985 by Brian Keller of Darnick. Last year's champion, Joseph Boswell of Splash. So we'll watch lanes 3 and 4 in the early going of this 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. Nate Weiniger of Paddock in lane 3 and Nick Roby of Splash in lane 4. They're up on the blocks and ready to go. I got to get some ice water here.
Need something. It's getting hot.
We're at event number 70. 70 of 84 events, or make it 86 events, in the city swim meet. This is the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. It'll be 4 laps, and right there in 2 and 3 battling it out are Joe Younger of Atlantis and Nathan Weiniger of Splash. And out in lane 4 is Nick Roby of Splash. Nathan Weiniger of Paddock and Nick Roby of Splash in 4. In lane 2 is Joe Younger of Atlantis. They reach the halfway mark, and we'll try to pick up the leader as they come by. In lane 3, it looks like Nate Weiniger moving out to a slight lead. And his closest challengers on each side are Joe Younger of Atlantis and Nick Roby of Splash. But Nathan Weiniger trying to come up with a victory. Here's the turn coming down, and it's going to be Nathan Weiniger of Paddock coming home to victor. In the boys 100-yard, 11 and 12-year-old freestyle. Nathan Weiniger of Paddock with a very impressive win. We move on to event number 71, the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is Amy Zerner of Atlantis. In lane 2, Katie Malone of Splash. Lane 3, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 4, Lindsey Green of Paddock. Lane 4, Lindsey Green of Paddock. Lane 5 is Stacy Sorensen of Atlantis. And lane 6, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. The best time was 101.07 by Rocky Hatton of Splash in the trials. The city meet record is 59.18. And who holds that record?
Walters.
Kim Walters of Darnick holds that record, set in 1984. Brooke Berry of Owensboro Country Club And we're ready to go with the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. Let's catch up with some of the earlier competition. Event 41, the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. The official winner was Angie Janiak of Splash with a time of 1:18.56. In event 42, the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old breaststroke. The official winner was Trent Thomas of Paddock with a time of 1:10.86. And boy, that challenged the record. Brian Keller's record of 1:10.72 just barely survived. In event number 43, the girls 100-yard high school breaststroke, the winner was Nicole Vessels of Darnick with a time of 1:13.37. And event number 44, I think they were challenging on the time here. The winner of the boys 100-yard high school breaststroke was Brad Morris of Darnick with a time of 1:05.12. His time of 1:04.05 in the trials did set a new record. He didn't match it here today, but he earns the record from yesterday. This is the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. And in lane 2 with a strong effort in the early going is Katie Malone of Splash. As they reach the halfway mark of this 100-yard freestyle competition, girls 13 and 14 years old. Here they come to the final turn. And let's try to pick it up as we try to block the sun. In lane 2, that's Katie Malone. And in lane 3, Rocky Hatton. So Malone and Hatton go for the final 25 yards. It's going to be a two-gal race down to the stretch. This is Katie Malone and Rocky Hatton. It's Malone and Hatton, and Malone may hang on. Katie Malone beats out teammate Rocky Hatton for the victory for Splash. Katie Malone, the apparent winner in the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. That'll move us on to event number 72, the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. In lane 1 is John Hayden of Splash. In lane 2, Kevin Kern of Darnick. Lane 3, Ryan Masenik of Splash. Lane 4, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 5, Joseph Boswell of Splash. And lane 6, Nicholas Waniger of Paddock. The best time in the trials by about 2 seconds was Ryan Masenik of Splash with a 54.10. Closest to him was Trent Thomas of Paddock with a 56 flat. The meet record is 52.52, set by Brian Keller of Darnick in 1987. Ryan Masenik is the defending champion as he tries to make it 2 in a row in the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. Let's recap a couple of the earlier winners in event 45. The girls 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old butterfly. The official winner was Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club, a time of 19.18. She had an 18.2 in the trials. In the boys 25-yard 7 and 8-year-old butterfly, the official winner Zach Sparks of Splash with an 18.7 in the final. He had a 17.48 in the trials. We're in the water. We're going with the boys 100-yard 13 to, or this is a girls 13 to 14-year-old.
Oh, boys.
This is the boys. Okay, boys 100-yard 13, 14-year-old freestyle. Ryan Masenik, the guy to beat in lane 3, and that is Ryan way out in front.
Scoring after 62 of
Here he goes.
YMCA.
Ryan's,
First
who's
50
challenging
was
him
fast.
out there? That's Trent Thomas. Trent Thomas is right there with him in lane 4 from Paddock. So now we go to the final 25. And it's Ryan Masenik trying to make it back-to-back wins for him in this event. Thomas is challenging him, but I don't know if he'll have enough as Ryan Masenik of Splash is going to splash his way to victory in the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old freestyle. Another win for Ryan Masenik, another win for the Splash swim team. And you see him there, a tired young man. Boy, he's racking up some victories here this afternoon. And we're going to move on to the girls 100-yard high school freestyle. The girls 100-yard high school freestyle will be coming up. That's event number 73. In lane 1 is Mandy Keller of Darnick. In lane 2 will be Liz Dassel of Splash. In lane 3, Chrissy Geyer of Paddock. Lane 4, Leanne Presser of Darnick. Lane 5, Ashley Reynolds of Owensboro Country Club. And lane 6, Nicole Vessels of Darnick. The best time in the trials, 103.8. Chrissy Geyer of Paddock, closest to her. Oh, everybody else is 104 plus and up to 105.08. So it should be a tight battle here in the girls 100-yard high school freestyle. Who holds the record? Jamie Mueller of Splash in 1990, 55.93. Jamie with the record in the high school freestyle. Last year's winner was Lisa Kelly of Atlantis with a 1 minute, 0.9 seconds.
Nicole Vessels.
Ready to go. Keller in lane 1, Dassel in 2, Geyer in 3, Presser in 4, Reynolds in 5, and Vessels in 6. These are the high school girls. The 100-yard high school freestyle. Event number 73 of 86 events in the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet. And here we go.
Oh, I didn't start my watch.
Did you spot something?
I didn't start my watch.
Oh, you didn't start your watch. That's
I wanted
okay.
to.
We'll get the official time later. They are close together.
Leanne Presser's out fast in lane 4.
In lane 4, Leanne Presser of Darnick has got the lead, but boy, the others are right there, just a beat behind. These turns are going to be so important.
Exactly. These sprint freestyle races, they're over like that. You have to do everything in forward.
You can't afford any mistake. No little mistake. That can throw you off very quickly. And all of a sudden in lane 4, that is Leanne Presser, as she's built up a little bit of a lead going into the final 25 yards. A solid effort here by Leanne Presser of Darnick in the high school girls 100-yard freestyle, and I think she's going to have enough to win it.
Yeah.
Moving up behind her is Chrissy Geyer of Paddock, but in lane 4, it looks like Leanne Presser of Darnick coming home winner in the high school girls 100-yard freestyle competition. Leanne Presser, Darnick, the winner. And we'll move ahead quickly to event number 74, the boys 100-yard high school freestyle. This will be some real competition here. I like this event. The boys 100-yard high school free. In lane 1 is Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. Lane 2, Clay Purdom of Splash. Lane 3, Brad Morris of Darnick. Lane 4, Josh Vanover of Darnick. Lane 5, Chad Masenic of Darnick. And lane 6, Matt Shrewsbury of Splash. The best time in the trials was by Brad Morris, and boys, he's having quite a day. He had a 51.43 yesterday, and that's about 3 seconds quicker than Josh Vanover of Darnick, who will be in lane 4. So we'll keep our eyes on Brad Morris of Darnick, the guy to beat. He is the defending champion. He had a 52.57
Brad has
a year ago.
excellent speed.
And
he can really move his arms over pretty quick.
And he can get out that early lead. If he gets it on that first 25 yards, it's going to be hard to pick it up. Jay Eccleberry of Darnick has the meet record in this event, set in 1988, 49.33. They're in the water. Here they go. Let's keep an eye on lane 3. And indeed it is, but right there in lane 4 to challenge him is Josh Vanover or Brad Morris as they make the first turn. And they come up, and he's still got about that same lead. Out here in lane 1, a strong effort by Jeremiah Johnson as they approach the halfway mark of the boys, high school boys 100-yard freestyle. Halfway mark, still in front is Brad Morris of Darnick. Still in second place in lane 4 is Josh Vanover of Darnick. And now moving into second place in lane 1 is Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. But it's going to be Brad Morris of Darnick in lane 3. And making a challenge for second place is Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis here in lane 1. The coming home winner, the defending champion in this event, Brad Morris of Darnick, the apparent winner in the high school boys 100-yard freestyle. You're watching the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet on Century TV2. Jerry Burge along with Jamie Mueller, and we'll be back with more after this timeout.
Dining out? Holiday Inn of Owensboro says, put yourself in our place. Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome. The friendly staff will make you feel at home, and quiet, elegant surroundings add to your dining pleasure. Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a great time to relax and enjoy some of the best food served in the tri-state. The Holiday Inn of Owensboro says, put yourself in our place. The Park Place Restaurant in the Holiday Inn Holodome.
In any arena, basketball or business, you've got to know what your players can do. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. Talk to your authorized Sharp dealer who'll show you a game plan booklet that can help you find the right copier that's going to reduce your operating expenses and increase productivity big time. Whether it's a more efficient Sharp high-volume duplicating system or a compact upgradable copier, call Office World and get Sharp's winning game plan.
Make the call that puts the most entertainment and the best value in your home and put premium TV on your TV. Get HBO for Batman Returns and A League of Their Own. Get Showtime for Sister Act and House Sitter. Get Cinemax for Single White Female and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Get the Movie Channel for Basic Instinct and Deep Cover. And get it all uncut and commercial free. Make your cable connection complete. Call now for premium TV.
And we've just taken a break in the action. The competitors relax a little bit as they get ready for the individual medley competition. And we're heading down the stretch here, Jamie. But it looks like Splash has built up too big a lead, and they're going to win the team championship again. But the individual medley, this can be some real competition.
It's interesting to watch these races because you can tell people's best strokes, because maybe lane 3 will be ahead on the butterfly, but then they'll fall behind on the backstroke and breaststroke, and then maybe catch up on the freestyle. So I mean, the race is always changing. It's a real interesting event to watch.
So of all the events, these individual medleys, you probably see more lead changes than any of the other races, and they're going to be going 100 yards. And these are 7- and 8-year-old individual medley. They're going 4 laps. These little youngsters, 7 and 8. This has got to wear them out.
Definitely.
This has to be a real tiring bit for these young ladies.
Especially they've swam already 6 events, several times, and a lot of them swim a couple of relays. They've got to be worn out by the end of the day. I remember I was.
This is event number 75, the girls 100 yards, 7- and 8-year-old individual medley. In lane 1 is Megan Higginson of Splash. In lane 2, Caroline Kirk of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Meredith Miller of the YMCA TNC. Savannah Perry in lane 5 from Darnick, and in lane 6, Rachel Griffin of the YMCA Town and Country. The best time by far in the trials was Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club with a time of 1:37.43. The city record is 1:28.19 or 18 by Tracy Keller of Splash, and she did that last year as she won this event last year. They're in the water for the first leg. This will be the
This will also be the first call.
Backstroke, or no, this is freestyle. This is all freestyle individual, right?
This is the medley relays this order, and then
what order is the medley?
Butterfly.
So they go with the butterfly.
Backstroke.
Okay.
Breaststroke.
All right.
And then the freestyle.
Okay, and boy, I'm glad you got you here. We got you here. Okay, in the butterfly. Or no, this is the backstroke here. Okay, it's 25 yards of each. So they're in the second leg, the backstroke. And in lane 3, opening up a big lead is Brittany Hawker, but as we said, her time yesterday was 1:37.43, which is about 15 seconds quicker than anyone else in the competition. So we look for her to certainly, if she turns in any kind of effort, to come in with a victory here. Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club.
See, if you'll notice, she's either won or got second or placed high in almost every single stroke. So it comes to the IM, and that's, I guess, when she really excels. Because she has every stroke. She doesn't really have a weak stroke, so
it looks like
talented.
Brittany Hawker, a very talented young lady, Owensboro Country Club, now into the freestyle on the final leg of this 100-yard individual medley. And she will be the winner, and let's see they haven't even made the turn yet. In lane 5, finishing second, will be Savannah Perry of Darnick. She's right now in second, but she may not hold on as there's a lot of competition. And right now, hitting the finish way out in front of the pack is Brittany Hawker of the Owensboro Country Club with a time of 1:37.43 in the trials, and that's certainly held up as we don't know what her time was here in the finals, but she is the easy winner. Brittany Hawker, Owensboro Country Club, 1:37.43 was her time yesterday, and we'll get her time here later. The next event number 76, the boys 100 yards, 7- and 8-year-old IM, individual medley. In lane 1 will be Jordan Doggett of Darnick. In lane 2, Daniel Eggers of Owensboro Country Club. In lane 3, Zach Sparks of Splash. Lane 4, Brett Russell of Splash. Lane 5, John Miles of Atlantis. And lane 6, Mark Johnson of Atlantis. And again, a big edge in the time yesterday. Zach Sparks of Splash had a 1:30.35.
16 seconds.
And it's, 16 seconds ahead of his closest competitor.
That's amazing.
And we could see the same thing here in the boys 100 IM for 7- and 8-year-olds.
Well, we set the city record.
Zach Sparks, he could challenge the record as 1:31.83.
Yeah, he broke it.
Oh, he broke it. Okay, so he did.
In the prelims.
In the preliminaries, so he's already got the meet record. Last year's winner, Zach Sparks, he's trying for back-to-back wins. Let's catch up with some of these earlier results in event number 47. The girls' 50-yard, 9- and 10-year-old butterfly. The official winner was Tracy Keller of Splash with a time of 35.99. The boys' 50-yard, 9- and 10-year-old butterfly. The winner officially was Kyle Roby of Splash with a time of 34.58. And the girls' 50-yard, 11- and 12-year-old butterfly, event 49, the winner was Tammy Price of Splash with a time of 31.73. And in the boys 50-yard 11 and 12-year-old butterfly, Nathan Waniger of Paddock was a winner with a 34.68. We're giving you the results of some of the earlier meets. We do have to wait for these official results before we can give them to you, and that's what we're doing just now as we await the boys competition in the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old IM. Event number 51 earlier today, the girls 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old butterfly. The winner was Katie Malone of Splash with a time of 1:10.12. In the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old butterfly, the winner was Ryan Masenic of Splash with a time of 59.88. He challenged the record. The record was 59.6. A strong effort by Ryan Masenic. Came just so close to the record with a 59.88. In the girls 100-yard high school butterfly, the winner officially was Leanne Presser of Darnick with a time of 107.28. And in the boys 100-yard high school butterfly, the official winner was Brad Morris of Darnick with a time of 58.43. We're ready to go now with the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old IM. Doggett, Eggers, Sparks, Russell, Miles, and Johnson. The one to watch in lane 3 is Zach Sparks. He's the defending champion and set the meet record with a 1:30.35 in yesterday's trials. And boy, right away, you could see Zach Sparks just pulling away at the end of the first 25 yards. This is the butterfly. Now he goes into the backstroke and has a very comfortable lead. They're just now making the turn, and there's going to be a real battle for second, third, and fourth, but there's going to be no battle for first place, as it appears now as we reach a halfway mark with Zach Sparks of Splash way out in front as he gets ready for the breaststroke competition, makes the turn. It's hard to get fired up, I guess, you know, when you look back and you see there's you run into your competitors, they're coming from the other direction. That's got to be a good feeling, too. You know that you're way, way out in front. And again, it is Zach Sparks of Splash way out in front of the pack as he gets ready to complete the breaststroke and get ready for the freestyle for the final 25 yards.
Sometimes you just kind of have to pretend that there's somebody maybe half a body length ahead of you, you know, or somebody you really don't like very well, you know, that you usually swim against. And
he's strictly going against the clock. He's not going against the other competitors.
It's hard to do.
So heading home with a very, very impressive victory, as expected, is Zach Sparks of Splash, coming home the winner in the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old individual medley. And there he goes, Sparks the winner. A strong, strong effort for that young man. Event number 77, the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old individual medley is next. As we watch the boys wrap things up in this particular race, we're going to look back and give you some official results from some of the earlier competition. Event number 55 was the girls 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. The winner was Owensboro Country Club with Jamie Oliver, Audrey Cotton, Brittany Hawker, and Caroline Kirk. Their time was 1:26.25. Event 56 was the boys 100-yard 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. The winning team was Owensboro Country Club. Alex Augenstein, Don Penn Moore, Daniel Eggers, and Morgan Ford. Their time was 1:28.99. Event number 57 was the girls 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. The winner was Splash with Amber Smith, Jacqueline Berry, Tracy Keller, and Jenny Myers. Their time was 1:13.49. Event 58, official results of the boys 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. The winning team was Splash with Zach Sparks, Jake Sparks, Kyle Roby, and Tony Price. Their time was 1:13.63. Event 59 was the girls 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. The winning team was Atlantis with Kelly Schmiel, Tori Duvall, Nicole Owens, and Christine Coombs. The winning time was 1:05.46. Event number 60 was the boys 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. The winning team was Splash with Nick Roby, Jake Sparks, Kyle Roby, and Josh Murphy. The winning time 1:09.49. Event number 61 was the girls 100-yard 13 and 14 medley relay. The winner was Splash with Heather Woolley, Angie Janiak, Amy Smith, and Katie Malone. Their winning time was 59.86. They challenged the record. The old record was 58.69. They didn't break it, but they gave it a good run. In the girls 200-yard high school medley relay, the winning team was Darnick with Mandy Keller, Nicole Vessels, Leanne Presser, and Tanya Miller. The winning time was 2:04.29. And event 62 was the boys 100-yard 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. The winning team was Splash with Joe Boswell, John Hayden, Ryan Masenic, and John Hicks. The time 57.26. What's going on, Jamie?
Every time they announce their name and what lane they're in, and they'd step up and put their arms out and acknowledge it. It's kind of funny.
Getting a little showmanship there. They're getting into the action. This is the girls' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old individual medley. In lane 1 is Kate Carruthers of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 2, Amber Smith of Splash. Lane 3, Tracy Keller of Splash. Lane 4, Christine Coy of Paddock. Lane 5, Jacqueline Berry of Splash. And lane 6, Elizabeth Eggers of Owensboro Country Club. The gal to watch is Tracy Keller in lane 3. She had the best time in the trials, 1:23.95. She has the early lead here, but challenging on the outside is Christine Coy of Paddock. They've got a real battle going as they reach the halfway mark of the 100-yard IM for girls 9 and 10 years old. They go now into the breaststroke. And as they come our way, who's got the lead? It's going to be close. In lane 3 is Tracy Keller. And in lane 4 is Christine Coy, and they are right side by side. Perhaps a slight lead here for Tracy Keller in lane 3, and they'll make the turn and come down for the freestyle. So the strongest freestyle is going to win right here. Yep. They make the turn, and here they go. In lane 3, it's Tracy Keller. In lane 4, Christine Coy.
Strong freestyler.
And Tracy Keller, with a strong effort in the freestyle, is going to come home the winner. Tracy Keller of Splash is the apparent winner in the girls' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old individual medley. That was event number 77. The girls' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old IM. Tracy Keller of Splash, the apparent winner. We'll move on to event number 78. The boys' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old IM. In lane 1 will be Brandon Black of Paddock. In lane 2, Jake Sparks of Splash. Lane 3, Kyle Roby of Splash. Lane 4, Joe Miles of Atlantis. Lane 5, Logan Johnson of Paddock. And lane 6, Tim Brandon of Paddock. The best time by far in the trial was Kyle Roby of Splash with a 1:21.66. He is the defending champion. He won last year with a 1:24.64. Brian Keller of Darnick has the meet record for the boys' 100-yard IM, 9 and 10-year-old boys, with a 1:17.21, set 10 years ago in 1983, Brian Keller. So we'll watch Kyle Roby here in the 100 IM for boys 9 and 10 years old. We're catching up with some of the earlier results. We're pretty well caught up, or halfway caught up, from what we've been given so far. And we have the distance races coming up, and that'll certainly give us an opportunity to catch up and give you the official results of the earlier races. This is event number 78, the boys 100 IM, 9 and 10-year-old boys. And we'll watch Kyle Roby of Splash in lane number 3. They're all pretty close together, but now all of a sudden with a good kick here and coming out on top is Kyle Roby in 3. Running second in lane 4 is Joe Miles of Atlantis. That's the first leg, the butterfly. Here's the backstroke. And well, he has opened up. He had a good turn, and he's going to be pulling away and still in second place, but a distant second is Joe Miles of Atlantis. We reach the halfway mark of the boys' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old IM. Kyle Roby of Splash is going to be breezing to victory. Goes now into the breaststroke with a monstrous lead. And he'll be in pretty good shape as he makes the final turn and comes in with the final 25 yards. There's a good shot of Roby as he goes by. Kyle Roby of Splash. He won this event last year, trying to make it 2 in a row. Ready for the turn. And now it's the freestyle, and he'll breeze to victory. Kyle Roby of Splash and the Splash swim team, very, very impressive again here this afternoon at the Owensboro Country Club. There's your winner. That's Kyle Roby of Splash coming home the victor in the boys' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old individual medley. He hits the wire, and that's it. Kyle's the winner. Recapping some of the earlier events, we have official results now for event number 64, the boys' 200-yard high school medley relay. The winning team was Splash with Ryan Masenic, Greg Price, Shrewsbury, and Clay Purdom. The winning time, 1:52.63. In event number 65, the girls' 50-yard 7 and 8-year-old freestyle. The winner was Brittany Hawker, Owensboro Country Club, with a time of 37.07. Event number 66 was the boys 50-yard 7- and 8-year-old freestyle. Zach Sparks repeated his championship from a year ago. He won again with a time of 37.44. He had a time of 37.01 in the trials last night. The event number 67 is the girls 100-yard 9- and 10-year-old freestyle. The winner was Tracy Keller of Splash with a time of 112.25. In the boys 100-yard 9- and 10-year-old freestyle, the official winner was Kyle Roby, who we just saw win the IM. Kyle Roby officially the winner in the boys 100-yard 9- and 10-year-old freestyle with a time of 111.14. He had a quicker time in the trials of 109.18. Event number 69 was the girls 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle. Tammy Price was the winner from Splash. Her time was 103.86. In the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old freestyle, the official winner was Nathan Waniger of Paddock with a time of 108.96. And we're ready to go now. This is the girls 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old individual medley. Jessica Poole of Paddocks in lane 1, Tammy Price of Splash in 2, Kelly Kern of Darnick in lane 3, Kelly Shamil of Atlantis in 4, Amanda Lee of Splash in 5, Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club in 6. The best time is Kelly Kern of Darnick, but not by much, in lane 3. And right now in lane 2 out in front is Tammy Price of Splash as we reach the halfway mark with the backstroke. And coming up with the third leg in the lead will be Tammy Price as she makes the turn. She's in lane 2 for Splash, and her toughest challenger her closest challenger is Kelly Kern of Darnick in lane 3. So Tammy Price of Splash holding on to the lead, trying to hold off a bid by Kelly Kern of Darnick as they'll make the turn for the final 25 yards in the freestyle competition of this individual medley. Here's the turn. And can Tammy hold on? Here she goes, Tammy Price in lane 2, and out in lane 3 is Kelly Kern of Darnick. Kelly trying to overcome that advantage, but I don't think she can get there. Tammy Price is going to hold on. The winner, Tammy Price of Splash, the winner in the girls 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old individual medley. Strong effort there by Tammy Price. Event number 80 will be the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old individual medley. As we see the girls wrap things up and the boys step forward to get ready for their competition. In the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old IM, in lane 1 is Josh Murphy of Splash. In lane 2, Nick Roby of Splash. In lane 3, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. In lane 4 is Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 5, Joe Younger of Atlantis. And lane 6, Jeremiah Johnson of Darnick. The best time by about 5 seconds in the trials was Nathan Waniger of Paddock with a 119.73. Joe Boswell of Splash won this event a year ago. The city meet record is 107.7, set back in 1985 by Brian Keller. So it's Murphy, Roby, Waniger, Harney, Younger, and Johnson going to it in just a moment in event number 80, the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old individual medley. Recapping some earlier finals official results, event 71, the girls 100-yard 13 and 14 freestyle. The winner was Katie Malone of Splash with a 59.95, just missing the record of 59.18. In the boys 100-yard 13-14 freestyle, the official winner was Ryan Masenik of Splash with a time of 53.21. They're in the water. Here we go with the boys 100-yard 11- and 12-year-old IM. Nathan Waniger is the guy to watch in lane 3, and he's got just the slightest of leads, if a lead, over Nick Roby of Splash. Nick Roby giving him a real battle there in lane 2. They move into the backstroke. In 3, it is Waniger. In 2, it's Roby. In third place out in 4 is Chris Harney. But it's going to be a battle between Roby and Waniger at the halfway mark. And in lane 3, it's Nathan Waniger with the lead as he'll make the turn and come down with a breaststroke in the third leg of the 100-yard IM for boys 11 and 12 years old. Here's the turn, and where's he at? Here he comes. Nathan Waniger of Paddock out in front, and moving up to second place in lane 4 is Chris Harney of Atlantis. So it's Nathan Waniger of Paddock in lane 3 out in front. In second place is Chris Harney of Atlantis in lane 4, and moving up in lane 2 is Nick Roby back into contention. Here's the turn. Here's the final 25 in the freestyle, and it's Nathan Waniger going to hold on to that lead, and it's going to be a battle for second from in lane 4, Chris Harney, in lane 2, Nick Roby, but the winner is going to be Nathan Waniger of Paddock, the winner of the boys 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old individual medley. Nathan Waniger, the winner. And we're moving right along. We're going to be moving up to the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14 IM in a moment. But let's get caught up with some earlier results. In event number 73, it was the girls 100-yard high school freestyle. The winner was Leanne Presser with a strong effort. She was timed in 1 minute, .71. A great effort by Leanne Presser to officially win the girls 100-yard high school freestyle. In the boys 100-yard high school freestyle, the official winner was Brad Morris of Darnick with a time of 51.13. Brad Morris of Darnick, the winner of the boys 100-yard high school freestyle. That's the official results of some of the earlier events. Now we move on to event number 81, the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14 IM. In lane 1 is Amy Smith of Splash. Lane 2, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 3, Katie Malone of Splash. Lane 4, Lindsey Green of Paddock. Lane 5 is Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. Lane 6, Lindsay Abel of Darnick. The best time in the trials was 110.83 by Katie Malone of Splash. She'll be the gal to beat. Last year, Brooke Berry of Owensboro Country Club won this event with a 110.29. And the meet record is 108.94 by Lori Barr of Darnick. So here we go. They're in the water. The butterfly. Who's out in front? Boy, it's hard to tell as they come by here. It's real close. 1 and 3.
Yeah,
it's Amy Smith and Katie Malone battling it out in the butterfly competition. Now they're into the backstroke. And jumping out to a little bit of a lead in lane 3 is Katie Malone of Splash. Still in second in lane 1 is Amy Smith of Splash. They'll be ready for the breaststroke at this turn as they reach the halfway mark of the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14 IM. The turn's been made by the leader, Katie Malone, and here she comes in lane 3 as she's opening up a pretty good lead. And she may breeze the victory with the final 25 yards with her freestyle competition. The girls 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old IM. Katie Malone of Splash out in front. Here's the turn. She goes into the freestyle. And I don't know if anybody can catch her. It'll take a super effort. Still running second in lane 1 is Amy Smith. Rocky Hatton of Splash.
Rocky might catch her.
Trying to catch her.
Well, I think she did.
The battle, Rocky may take over second place, but the winner is going to be Katie Malone. Katie Malone of Splash, the winner of the girls 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old individual medley. Next up, the boys 100-yard, 13 and 14-year-old individual medley.
We're ready for event.
The field includes in lane 1, Aaron Aud of Darnick. Lane 2, Joseph Boswell of Splash. Lane 3, Ryan Masenic of Splash. Lane 4, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 5, Kevin Kern of Darnick. And lane 6, John Hayden of Splash. The best time in the trials, Ryan Masenic with a 103.38. Ryan is the defending champion. He won last year with a 107.42. Brian Keller holds the meet record of 101.8 set in 1987. So the guys are about set to go with the boys 100-yard, 13 and 14 IM. And we recap some of the earlier events. Final results official. Girls 100-yard, 7 and 8-year-old IM. The winner was Brittany Hawker of Owensboro Country Club with a 135.86. In the boys 100-yard, 7 and 8-year-old IM, the winner was Zach Sparks with a city record time of 130.35. He set that in the trials here today. He had a 130.53. That would have also broken the record. So Zach Sparks with a record-breaking effort, the official winner of the boys 100-yard, 7 and 8-year-old individual medley. As you can see, we're having fun with the sun as the sun sets in the west as we look into the sun.
A few more minutes
and it's going to be a few more minutes and that sun will be gone behind the buildings.
I can't wait.
But right now we're ready to go with the boys 100-yard, 13 and 14 IM. The guy to beat in lane 3 is Ryan Masenic, the defending champion. About a 2-second edge over Trent Thomas, who's in lane 4. When you compare their times from yesterday in the trials. They're in the water. They're ready to go with the butterfly competition in the 100-yard IM for boys 13 and 14 years old. And boy, it is tight. It is tight with 2, 3, and 4. Boswell, Masenic, and Thomas. They make the turn into the backstroke. And moving out to the slightest of leads is Ryan Masenic. Trent Thomas is right behind, and right there with him is Joseph Boswell. They reach the halfway mark, ready to go into the breaststroke. This could be quite a finish. Making the turn, Ryan Masenic will hold on to the lead as he comes out into the breaststroke. This is the boys, 13 and 14-year-old IM, but boy, right there with him is Trent Thomas. Masenik and Thomas right together. Masenik with a slight lead in lane 3, Thomas in lane 4. It's going to be the battle of the freestyle down the final 25 yards. Here they go. Let's watch them. There they are on the near side. That's Ryan Masenik in lane 3. On the far side is Trent Thomas. And Masenik is going to hold on in lane 3 and come home the winner for Splash in the boys 100-yard 13 and 14 IM. A strong effort by Ryan Masenik, and that effort by Trent Thomas may improve on his time quite a bit.
Yeah, that may be close to that record.
It could be. The official time is, or the record time is 101.8, but when you have that kind of competition coming down the line, that certainly could improve on the time. We move into event number 83. Event number 83 is the girls' 200-yard high school individual medley. High school individual medley, it's 50 yards of each stroke in the IM for high school girls. Lane 1 is Leanne Presser of Darnick. Lane 2 is Tanya Miller of Darnick. Lane 3, Chrissy Geyer of Paddock. Lane 4, Nicole Vessels of Darnick. Lane 5, Liz Dassel of Splash. Lane 6, Mandy Keller of Darnick. The best time, 2:36.42 by Chrissy Geyer, but that's only 1 second better than Nicole Vessels. And when you're going 200 yards here, anything can happen, and that second is certainly.
Exactly.
So we'll keep our eye on Chrissy Geyer of Paddock. She is the favorite based on the trial times, but it's going to take a strong effort for Chrissy to hold off some of these competitors as they're all close. They will take 2 laps of each stroke. This is the butterfly as they get going. Now here, do they have to conserve any energy at all in the 200?
Not really too much. It's just hard to, you have to really work on your transition because you'll get going doing that, the 50 fly, and then you have to change strokes and muscle groups and then do backstroke. So that's the key to getting, a good IM time, is to really get into the transition, and as soon as you start the next stroke, really start turning it over and, getting into it.
Leanne Presser with a strong effort in lane 1, holding on to the lead just ever so slightly is Chrissy Geyer in 3, but Leanne Presser in lane 1 from Darnick making a strong effort. In lane 3 out in front, that is Chrissy Geyer. Here in second place in lane 1 is Leanne Presser. And in third place, I believe, in lane 2, that's Tanya Miller. As they near the halfway mark of the 200-yard high school individual medley, Chrissy Geyer holding the lead as they move into the breaststroke competition, the third leg of this 200 IM. And in the breaststroke, it is Chrissy Geyer. There she is out in front, as she's opened up a bit of a lead over second place Leanne Presser. They'll stay in the breaststroke for another 25 yards after this turn, and then go into the freestyle for the final 50. Here's the turn, and coming back to complete the breaststroke, the third leg of the IM. In first place is Chrissy Geyer, and staying in second place.
Nicole's passed up Leanne.
And then you caught that out in lane 4 is Nicole Vessels now in second place, and Leanne Presser is third, and they'll make the turn and go into the freestyle competition. Making the turn now, Chrissy Geyer. Chrissy Geyer makes the turn, and she goes into the freestyle for the final 50 yards. And right there challenging is Nicole Vessels. Nicole Vessels is right behind, and it'll have 25 yards to go. Chrissy Geyer with the lead. Good turn by Chrissy. And a good turn by Nicole Vessels, and it's going to be Geyer and Vessels. Geyer and Vessels coming down to the stretch in lane 3. And it will be Chrissy Geyer of Paddock, the winner of the girls' 200-yard high school individual medley. A strong effort by Chrissy Geyer. Chrissy Geyer, the winner of the girls' 200-yard high school individual medley. And that brings us down to the boys' 200-yard high school individual medley, event number 84. And would you believe it? Only 2 events remain after the boys' IM. And, of course, those are those 500-yarders. We're going to catch up real quick if we can. Well, we'll save these results. Let's look at the boys' field for the IM. I'm sure you'll have some comments to make on this, Jamie. In lane 1 is Josh Vanover of Darnick. Lane 2, Chad Masenik of Darnick. Brad Morris is in lane 3 from Darnick. Lane 4 is Jeremiah Johnson from Atlantis. Lane 5 is Matt Grawl of Atlantis. And lane 6, Stephen Delaney of Paddock. The best time, 2:18.69 by Brad Morris. Brad Morris is the defending champion. Brian Keller has the meet record with a 2:07.51. You know the strong, what are the strong suits of Brad Morris? What's his strongest stroke?
Probably breaststroke and freestyle, second half of the event. So this should be a pretty good race. I imagine they'll go a lot faster than the times they went yesterday in this.
So what you're telling me is Brad could fall behind in the early going over the first 100 yards, let's say, and with his strong efforts in the breaststroke and freestyle come back.
Yeah.
But right now he has
Unless
grabbed a little bit of a lead.
Sometimes Brad goes out too hard.
And he's got the lead now. Josh Vanover of Darnick. He's looking strong in lane 3, and in lane 1 is Josh Vanover over in lane 4 to challenge Jeremiah Johnson. That completes the first 50 yards of the butterfly of the IM, the butterfly portion. Now they go into the backstroke, and it's Brad Morris trying for a repeat victory in the boys' 200-yard high school IM. And now moving up is Jeremiah Johnson in lane 4. Johnson's running second to Brad Morris as they complete the backstroke.
There's a lot of breaststrokers in this field, so you should see
that could tighten things up in the next leg. We reach the halfway mark as they complete the backstroke. Brad Morris in front, Jeremiah Johnson is second. And I believe running third in lane 1 is Josh Vanover. Now they make the turn. They go into the breaststroke. And here comes Brad Morris with the lead. Can he open it up with the breaststroke? We'll see. His closest challenger in lane 4 is Jeremiah Johnson, but that's Brad Morris out in front. Not a real comfortable lead when you've got another 75 yards to go, but a pretty decent lead. He turns, comes back as he completes the breaststroke. Making the turn now is Jeremiah Johnson, but it's Brad Morris out in front.
Josh Vanover in lane 1's going.
It's kind of been that way with those three, with Morris, Johnson, and Vanover, but it's going to be Brad Morris with the big lead as they go into the freestyle. They kick it in for the final 50 yards of the boys' 200-yard high school individual medley. Brad Morris of Darnick trying to repeat his victory of a year ago in this event. And there he goes. He'll make the final turn, and I don't think Jeremiah can catch him. Here's the turn. He's going to romp home winner. Another winner from Darnick, Brad Morris, will be the winner of the boys' high school individual medley, the 200-yard individual medley for high school boys. The winner is Brad Morris of Darnick. While we have a moment, we'll catch up with some of the earlier results, official results of event number 77. The winner was that was the girls' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old IM as we watch them finish in this last race. The official winner of the girls' 100-yard 9 and 10-year-old individual medley was Tracy Keller of Splash with a time of 1:21.3. In the boys' 100-yard 9 and 10 IM, the winner was Kyle Roby of Splash with a 1:21.78. Yesterday, he had his quick time with a 1:21.66 in the trials. In event 79, the girls' 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old individual medley, the winner was Tammy Price of Splash with a time of 112.9. That's the official winner, Tammy Price, the official winner of the girls' 100-yard 11 and 12 IM. You're watching the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet on Century TV 2, and we'll be back to wrap it up with the final two events after this.
How can you change a child's life? As easily as you can fill an empty glass. Around our world, children's lives are empty. Little children are struggling every day with hunger. All they need is some nourishing food. Little children are suffering and dying each day from sickness. All they need is the chance to see a doctor. Little children are growing up trapped in hopeless poverty, just like the poverty that still traps their parents. What they need is the opportunity to go to school. When you become a Child Reach sponsor, you help fill a needy child's life, not with handouts, but with self-help programs that change the child's and the family's future. In return, you find your own life a little fuller, too. Please call for details on how you can help. Right now, a child needs a heart like yours, filled to the brim with love.
Back at the Owensboro Country Club pool, Jerry Birdsall with Jamie Mueller. We're ready for the girls' 500-yard open freestyle. In lane 1 will be Katie Malone from Splash. In lane 2, Stacy Sorensen of Atlantis. In lane 3, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 4 is Lindsey Green of Paddock. In lane 5 is an alternate, Amy Smith of Splash. And in lane 6, Kelly Kern of Darnick. The best time, 5:52.9. That's Rocky Hatton in lane 3. And explain to us, Jamie, how long is 500 yards in this pool?
20 yards. 20
laps. 20 laps.
20 times. Yeah.
20 times. So we'll watch it and get going and see how we go with the event number 85, the second last event of the night. The girls' 500-yard open freestyle. Rocky Hatton of Splash in lane 3 with the best time, and she has the early lead. And is it often a case of leading from start to finish in this race?
Well, a lot of people swim it different ways. It just depends on, what's ever important for you. Some people like to take it out and just try to hold on to that pace, and other people like to maybe control the first 200 and then pick it up for the last 300. But you kind of see all different types of strategies.
Right now, it looks like she's backpedaling a little bit, Rocky Hatton. And moving up in pretty good contention is Katie Malone of Splash, but they have a long, long way to go. A long way to go here in the 500-yard open freestyle. And this does give us a breather, a chance to chat a bit as we watch all 20 laps. Brian Daniels, head coach of the Racers, joins us as he watches some of his team members in competition here. And Brian, I'm sure you're here doing some scouting and some recruiting maybe for the Racers. How strong a meet and some of these strong individual performances that you've seen here today?
Well, everything's going real well. I'm real pleased with the way everybody's swimming, especially the kids that swim year-round for me for the Racer swim team. But there's a lot of swimming talent in Owensboro, and this is my first experience of this meet, and it's quite exciting.
Brian, with the Racers, describe the Racers program. I know it's not any longer called the AAU. It's under what auspices?
It's under United States Swimming now. It's our national governing body, and we operate under Kentucky Swimming through United States Swimming out of Colorado Springs.
And who makes up the team? Where do you get your swimmers?
Well, we get our swimmers from all the local area summer league clubs that are participating in this meet, and out of high school teams, high school programs. So they're our big recruiting pool, I guess you could say.
And what's the schedule? When do you get into the competition with the Racers?
We swim on a year-round basis from September through the month of August. So we're definitely a year-round program.
So where's your next meet?
This coming weekend we have our state championship qualifier in Fort Knox at the Gold Vault pool, and then the following weekend we have the state championships in Elizabethtown, and then following that, Jamie and I are going to be going to Orlando, Florida for the junior national competition.
And how many of your people will be competing down there? Jamie?
Just Jamie.
Okay, what's she going to be competing in?
Whatever she wants.
Whatever she wants. Okay, when's that coming up?
That'll be August 7th through the 11th. Actually, Jamie's swimming the 50, the 100, the 200 free, and probably the 200 IM.
Okay, I'll ask you the question I asked you earlier. How do you fill the squad for the Racers? Do people try out? By invitation? Or
yeah,
what?
it's really, our team is open to anyone interested in swimming on a year-round basis. I like to tell people that we don't only teach kids how to swim fast, we teach them how to be good people. We teach a lot about goal setting, a lot about being a good sport, time management. There's a lot of things that go into it other than just fast swimming. We like to say that everybody can be successful in our program. What level of success that is really up to the individual.
I mean, being a year-round program, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of practice, and what kind of practice schedule? Do you have regular practices scheduled year-round?
We sure do. During the winter time, we practice at Splash Swim Club, and during the summer, we swim at Chautauqua Park Pool.
And pool. When you work with these swimmers, do you ever get in any weight programs or strength building programs?
Matter of fact, Splash has just put in a full Nautilus Center, and we're going to be only the older kids, 13 and over kids.
Right, you don't want to get the real little ones in there on that.
It's too much.
What age groups do you have in the racer competition? The same as we're seeing here today?
Same as you have here, primarily 8 and unders, but there are some 6 and unders that are swimming, but we all the way up through, hopefully college kids when they come back.
Well, Jamie Mueller, certainly with the racers in recent years, has been one of the, one of the real success stories of the Owensboro swim program, and she still is as you talk about going down to Florida. What about some of the youngsters coming up? Not that Jamie's an oldster, but, we've been watching her for many years. You got any outstanding national time possibilities coming up?
We had some real fine times turned in. Ryan Masinik, Trent Thomas in the 13-14 boys age division. Ryan's getting ready to swim the men's 500 free. Katie Malone, Rocky Hatton in the girls 13-14. Tammy Price, 11-12 girl. Amanda Lee, another 11-12 girl. Kyle Roby, a 10-under boy, just shocked everybody at this meet, just blew everybody away. So we've got a lot of talent coming up.
Okay, well, Brian Daniels, head coach of the Racers, thanks for taking time to talk with us. We hope you come up with some great candidates for the Racer team out of this city swim meet today.
I know I will, and everybody's invited.
Okay.
685-1927.
We'll get you. Thank you a lot. Brian Daniels, head coach of the Racers. And does he work you pretty hard, Jamie?
Yeah. That's what we need, though.
Okay, how are we standing here? We just got a couple of laps to go. Let's see, we're about ready.
What are they on, 17?
Okay, who's out in front? It's going to be hard because we've had some lapping.
The orange means it's the last one.
Okay, so where are we at? Who's out in front?
She's finished. Rocky's finished.
Okay, they have finished.
And they have another 25
Okay,
or
who
so.
came out on top? We were talking there.
Stacy Sorensen.
Stacy Sorensen of Atlantis, the apparent winner of the girls' 500-yard open freestyle. The second last event of the evening, as we're losing a little bit of light here, and we hope we can wrap things up very quickly in the 1993 Owensboro Summer Club Championships, the Owensboro City Swim Meet, coming your way on Century TV 2. Next up will be the boys' 500-yard open freestyle, and we'll run down the field for that in a moment. But right now, let's look at some results of earlier events. In event number 80, the boys' 100-yard 11 and 12-year-old IM. The winner officially was Nathan Weininger of Paddock with a time of 1:18.45. In the girls' 100-yard 13 and 14 IM, the official winner was Katie Malone, repeated her championship of a year ago with a winning time of 109.42. Katie Malone of Splash, the winner of the girls' 100 IM 13 and 14-year-olds. In event 82, the boys' 100-yard 13 and 14 IM, the winner was Ryan Masinik of Splash with a time of 101.92, and he too repeated his championship of a year ago. In the girls' 200-yard high school IM, the winner was Chrissy Geyer of Paddock with a time of 2:36.42. And in event 84, the boys' 200-yard IM, high school boys, the winner was Brad Morris with a time of 2:14.27. Brad Morris of Darnick, the winner of the boys' 200-yard IM. And one event remains, and there you see some of the workers. And I know Chris Gaddis, the manager of the Owensboro Country Club, is the guy that really put this together. And Chris, a lot of hard work by a lot of people to make another clockwork city swim meet. Things have gone very smoothly. Congratulations to you and your people.
Thank you very much. We've had a lot of people willing to pitch in, and I think for the first year in a long time, each of the 6 clubs were given some responsibilities, and getting everyone's equal participation in it, that allows all 6 clubs to be able to take some pride in it.
I know before the meet, Chris, you and I were talking about the fact that the new pool here at Owensboro Country Club made it possible for OCC to host this year's meet. And have you ever been able to find out, is this the first time OCC has hosted the city swim meet?
As long as records have been kept, this is the first time that we know of. Due to our old facility only had 4 lanes and the pool was 33 yards long, which was not official for timing.
So you are very happy to be hosting your first ever.
Absolutely, and everyone in Owensboro has been really complimentary of the job that we've done, and I don't want to take the credit by any means. We've had an awful lot of hard work. Jane Prince, our swim coach, has done an exceptional job with not only our swim team, but with the logistics of the swimming events themselves at the tournament, because I might have the abilities to organize the facility, but absolutely hold no knowledge at all as far as the sport of swimming goes.
A tip of the hat to you, Chris. A good job by you and your crew for making this a very exciting and a very enjoyable city swim meet.
Well, thank you very much.
As we talk, the final event is underway. The boys' 500-yard open freestyle. In lane 1 is Joseph Boswell of Splash. Lane 2, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. Ryan Masinik of Splash is in lane 3. Trent Thomas of Paddock is in lane 4. Brad Morris of Darnick in lane 5. And John Hayden of Splash is in lane 6. And they've had about 4 or 5 laps completed. And Jamie, I'm sure you've been observing who's out in front.
Ryan Masinik right now. It's still pretty close. For second, it's Trent and Thomas and Brad Morse and Jeremiah Johnson all right in there.
So you see making the turn there, that's Ryan Masenik. I didn't catch the lap number, but Ryan Masenik, a splash, he had the best time of 5 minutes, .91 in the trials, and that was about 22 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor, Trent Thomas of Paddock, who was at 5:22. Next was Jeremiah Johnson at 5:40. So if things go as expected, Ryan Masenik, a splash, is going to wrap it up with a fitting victory for the winning team, splash. And right now, Masenik, that was lap number 7 that he has just completed, so he has 13 laps to go. Boy, you know, if I was out there swimming, Jamie, and you look up and you've done 7 or 8 laps, and you look up and you see you got 12 to go, you got to think, oh my goodness.
The 500's not that bad.
Oh,
I swam the mile before.
No.
I don't like that very well. But.
Boy, oh boy, 500 would be plenty. I think 1 or 2 laps would do me in, but when you go 500 yards, you're talking 20 laps here at this 25-yard pool at the Owensboro Country Club, and Ryan Masenik is out in front.
For sprint or for distance swimmers, the 500's kind of a sprint. The shortest event they swim. They swim the 500, the 1,000, the mile usually.
Boy, oh boy, here we go as we wrap things up in the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet, and it would be a fitting finish for this event if Ryan Masenik can hold on and win it for splash. The splash is certainly going to wrap it up. What are you signaling?
I'm just cheering for him. He's holding a really fast pace.
Is he a member of the racers?
Yeah, we train together a lot in the same lane and stuff.
So Ryan Masenik, who he won this event last year with a 5:17.74, and there you see him making the turn and trying to pull away from the pack, and he's doing just that. He's lapped some of the slower swimmers already as he approaches the block to make the turn. And this is going to complete 13 laps, and he'll have 7 laps to go. We have a lot of people to thank. We just did talk to Chris Gaddis of he's the manager of the pool here at the Owensboro Country Club, Jane Prince, all the folks here at OCC. The first time that we can recall, that anyone can recall, that OCC has hosted the City Swim Meet. They've done an excellent job with this beautiful new facility, and things have certainly gone like clockwork since the start earlier this afternoon under a bright sun and high humidity. But boy, since that sun's gone down, it's like
Feels
somebody
good.
cranked up the air conditioner, and things are very enjoyable as we wrap things up for 1993. This is certainly a big event for these youngsters each year in Owensboro, the Owensboro City Swim Meet, the 28th annual Owensboro Summer Club Championships, hosted this year by Owensboro Country Club. This is the 86th and final event, the boys 500-yard open freestyle. And define open, does that mean
anyone can swim, any age?
Any age at all. What about somebody that's, you know, older than high school age? Can they be in it too?
Yeah, college kids.
Anybody can swim in it, and they don't
it's
have
open.
They don't have to compete in any of the other events. So they just
can't.
come in here. So
see, there's high school events, which is that you can't compete after the summer after your senior year.
Right.
And then the 500's open. Anyone can get in and swim it.
So
Brian could get in and swim it right now.
Brian Daniels could get in there, or Chris Gaddis could get in there. Could I get in there and compete in it?
Yeah.
I'd drown probably if I tried to go 500 yards. But having no trouble whatsoever is Ryan Masenik, a splash.
I think he might break 5 minutes.
And he's turning in a solid effort. His time in the trials was 5 minutes, .91, and he is flat sailing along. And just finishes, and what kind of time you got for him?
Oh, good time, 4:58.
You got 4:58, and the meet record. Hey, look at this, kiddo, the meet record. Well, he set the meet record in the trials with a 5 minutes, .91. The meet record was 5:05, set by Brian Keller back in 1987. And
that
it
was
looks
an
like
excellent swim.
Ryan Masenik may have even bettered his record-breaking time in the trials. Has dropped considerably. And the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet is history. Event number 85, the official results. The winner was Stacy Sorensen of Atlantis, the winner of the girls' 500-yard open freestyle competition with a time of 5:48.8. And in the final event of the day, the boys' 500-yard open freestyle, the winner was Ryan Masenik, a splash, with a meet record time of 4:59.12. Ryan Masenik, back-to-back wins. He won this event a year ago. He comes back to win the boys' 500-yard open freestyle. Ryan Masenik, a splash, his record time of 4:59.12. Here are the final team standings in the girls competition. The winner was Splash with 384 points. Owensboro Country Club was second with 234. Darnick was third with 198. Paddock fourth with 161. Atlantis fifth with 116. And YMCA Town and Country sixth with 59. In the boys competition, Splash, the winner, making it a sweep for Splash with 399 points. Second was Paddock with 217. Third, Darnick with 185. Fourth, Atlantis with 178. Fifth, Owensboro Country Club with 136. And YMCA Town and Country sixth. The combined scores, the overall team championship, Splash, the winner again. They repeat their championship with 783 points. Second was Darnick with 383. Third, Paddock with 378. The host team, Owensboro Country Club, fourth with 370. Atlantis was next with 294, followed by YMCA Town and Country with 63. You see the young ladies wave goodbye. Jamie Mueller and I say goodbye for 1993. Jamie, it was a pleasure working with you again, young lady.
You too.
Well, thanks for being with us, and good luck with your racing with the racers for the rest of the season, okay?
Thanks.
From the Owensboro Country Club, I'm Jerry Burge, along with Jamie Mueller, reminding you that Splash, again the winner of the 1993 Owensboro City Swim Meet. Good night.
This has been Owensboro's annual City Swim Meet, a special presentation of Century TV2.